How you doing?
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with Gym Rat's basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November, in addition to the club training he was doing, because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training, just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcast. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. A bunch of skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level. Catching and shooting, working on ball handling, In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids that's able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
I choose to do whole body cryotherapy after practices, games, and training. It reduces inflammation in my muscles and allows me to move more agile throughout my profession. I became a believer in iCryo after my severe injury in college at Notre Dame, tore my ACL, and I was looking for ways to recover, ways to get back on the field. So I'm thankful for iCryo.
From the Gorsuch Athletic Complex at Carroll High School in Huntertown, Indiana, Summit City Sports presents the Indiana High School Athletic Association Class 6A Regional Championship game between the Westfield Shamrocks and the Carroll Chargers. Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard on this cool Friday night, or I should say cold Friday night. Right now it's dry. Temperature at 35 degrees. Weatherman says we should get down to around the freezing mark by the time we end. We had quite a snow squall move through here about an hour ago, but right now it's dry, and the weatherman says we're supposed to stay dry for the balance of tonight's proceedings. It's the Carroll Chargers against the Westfield Shamrocks, both teams 10-1. I'm Jim Meeso along with Blake Baker. Our cameraman tonight is Aiden Orth. And Blake, these two teams have mirrored each other during this 2021 campaign. They both dropped their opening games, and since opening night, they have each won 10 straight games.
That's right, 10 straight wins. And if you look at just the sheer offensive firepower, I think they mirror each other a little bit too. You got some super, super talented offensive guys going to happen in this game. But if you look at the defensive side for Carroll, they haven't allowed a single point this postseason yet. So they're going to get tested tonight, but they've shown that they belong in this position. I think we're going to see a really good one between these two.
And we'll establish right off the bat here that Carroll's leading receiver, Jameson Coverstone, is out for tonight's game. He missed last Friday's game against Warsaw. So that's a huge loss for the Chargers. But that does not leave, Blake, the cupboard bare for Carroll.
Absolutely not. No, there is kind of an embarrassment of riches on that offensive side. It's led by Jeff Becker. And Coverstone, obviously, their number one guy, number one target. But A.J. Lazoff, Cooper Rudolph, Luke Carmody, all these different guys, all those guys are seniors. You know, this could be very well their last game. And they're the stable of skill guys is going to make sure that it's not. They're going to cover what Jameson Coverstone's not going to be able to bring tonight. I think a leader like Jeff Becker is going to be able to really spread that thing around, and the dynamic play calling is going to get a lot of different guys involved. So while that is a big loss, I don't think this offense is really at a loss tonight.
This is the Parkview Sports Medicine pregame show. At Parkview Sports Medicine, it's game on. We serve every level of athlete with our integrated sports medicine team, including the region's only specialized athletic rehab facility. Learn more about our services by logging on to parkviewsportsmedicine.com. Fans continue to come into the Gorsuch Athletic Complex. Big crowd expected here tonight Although the weather may keep the attendance figure down, the entire complex is lighted up. The baseball and softball diamonds have their lights on. And we're expecting a heck of a ball game here tonight as the Carroll Chargers try to win their first regional championship ever. The Chargers have 6 sectional titles over the years. Westfield has won 11 sectionals. They are trying to win their second straight regional. They've won 5 in 1992, 93, also in 2013, 2016, and last year. Westfield has 4 semi-state wins and a state championship 5 years ago in 2016. Let's thank some of our sponsors that are making this streaming of tonight's game possible. Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Like their Facebook pages for updated promotions. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. Kelly Automotive Group is Indiana's #1 automotive group with over 1,000 new vehicles and 500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Please visit drivekelly.com. Simple, transparent, reliable. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They will help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more. You're invited to join ProFed Credit Union, where we get to know you to better serve you. Sign up online in 5 minutes or stop by a branch. Join ProFed today and start owning your financial future at profedcu.org. At Ottenweller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process, from bid to build. Visit OttenwellerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area. From ages 5 through 18, our players are equipped with elite level skills and a foundation of life skills. Jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business. A system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. iCryo specializes in whole body cryotherapy, body sculpting, cryofacials, infrared sauna, and compression therapy services. Check out Jalen Smith's signature location on Coliseum Boulevard by Blaze Pizza. Are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you? Whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping to get your driver's license reinstated, Jolly Law Firm is your answer. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Still about 11 minutes away from kickoff of tonight's game between Westfield and Carroll. This is a Class 6A regional championship game. The winner moves on to the semi-states to face the winner of the Maryville Penn contest. And since our game is kicking at 8 o'clock Eastern, we will more than likely get some final scores before we sign off tonight. In the other regional title games tonight in 6A, it's Brownsburg against Ben Davis, and Lawrence North is facing Center Grove. Center Grove is undefeated. In 5A, you got Valparaiso against Michigan Center. Dwenger against Zionsville. Dwenger at 7-4, taking on a Zionsville team that's 7-5. Indianapolis Cathedral is facing New Palestine, and Bloomington South plays New Albany. In 4A, I should mention here, some of these games will be tomorrow. I'm just reading down what's in the bracket here. In 4A, one game that we know of is tomorrow. That's East Central at Evansville Memorial. Tonight, it's New Prairie at Lowell. Northridge is hosting Mississinawa. Blake and I were there last Friday night as the Raiders upset Leo.
Excellent game.
It was an excellent game, and Northridge, they earned it. And I know the folks in Leo are still a bit disappointed about what happened, but the Lions had a great year. They had a fantastic year. They just ran into a hot football team last Friday night. Also in 4A, Roncalli is at Mount Vernon. In 3A, tomorrow it'll be Lawrenceburg and Gibson Southern. Tonight it's Mishawaka Marion at Hanover Central. Brebeuf is at Norwell. we'll keep our eyes on that game.
That game, as of right now, as of 25 seconds ago on Twitter, 16-3. Norwell is down. Brett Buff had a field goal attempt that hit off the crossbar, so it could be a little bit worse. That's 8 minutes left in the second quarter over there.
All right. I heard Dwinger was up on Zionsville.
I'm looking that one up as we speak. I got East Side up 13-0 over East Brook. This just says Laban Davis is a man. He is also the man leading that charge. Still undefeated is East Side, so we'll keep you updated on that one as well. That one should be approaching halftime.
The person handling the East Side Twitter account is rather colorful in those reports.
Oh, yeah.
So the East Side Blazers playing Eastbrook tonight in 2A. It's also LaVille at Andrean. Cecina's at Lafayette Central Catholic, and Mater Dei is at Triton Central. In 1A, it's Adams Central and South Adams the second time around. This game is at South Adams.
And that is, as of 15 minutes ago, Adams Central up 14-0.
All right. And also in 1A, it's North Justin at Carroll of Flora. Indianapolis Lutheran is at Park Heritage, and Tri is at North Central Farmersburg. Where's Farmersburg, you ask? It's on US 41, south of Terre Haute. There you go. There's your Indiana geography lesson for the night. Still about 8 minutes away from this ball game between Westfield and Carroll. Again, 35 degrees. Westfield coached by Jake Gilbert in his 11th year, and another veteran coach, Doug Dinan. Coaching at Carroll, this may be Coach Dinan's best team, Blake, in his 12 years here.
I think that's been kind of a theme for some of these teams. You mentioned Leo, definitely their best team and under Jared Sauter, and yeah, I think you could say the same for Doug Dinan and crew here.
And now our national anthem. Well, that's quite a show there. Our national anthem singer apparently had some technical difficulties, so the crowd pitched in and did the anthem themselves.
Well, crowd participation. You love to see the helping hand by Neon Nation here tonight.
All right, weather conditions, like we said, 35 degrees, but it's dry right now. We had a snow squall move through here about an hour ago, and the smart aleck in the press box here at Carroll played Andy Williams' Christmas music.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, is what they said.
Yeah.
And it kind of did for a while.
Gradually, the snow tapered off, and now it's totally stopped. The wind, though, will be a factor. The wind is expected to gust up to 25 miles an hour out of the west-southwest, so it's going to be blowing from right to left here at the Gorsuch Athletic Complex.
The Carroll squad likes to throw the ball. It's got a good kicking game to them. I think both those elements are going to be big pieces tonight, and you got 25-mile-an-hour winds that might adjust what you're trying to do just a little bit.
All right, why don't we step aside for a bit? We're still about 5 minutes away from the start of the game. I noticed both coaches are keeping their teams in the locker room, and I would imagine the butterflies are fluttering in both locker rooms right now. We'll step aside. We'll come back with the start of tonight's game in just a moment on Summit City Sports.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. Watching skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level, catching and shooting, working on ball handling. In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids that's able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
Welcome back, everybody. Jim Meso here at the Carroll Athletic Complex. And, we have still 2.5 minutes to go before kickoff, and here come the Shamrocks, and here come the Chargers out of their respective locker rooms. Westfield winning last week a sectional championship in dramatic fashion as they defeated Hamilton Southeastern 24-22. Caleb King with a last-second field goal. This after Hamilton Southeastern scored and then got the two-point conversion with 35.9 seconds to go. Westfield showing a lot of poise, Blake, in pulling that game out of the fire.
Oh yeah, a lot like the game that we witnessed, the one you teased earlier, that Northridge game. Yeah, I think if you win a sectional title, you might as well win in that kind of fashion, right? And it's the team that's had a lot of success the postseason recently. They've played, these guys specifically have played in a lot of games, and this coaching staff, went to a state title, and I believe it was 2013, and then won it 2016. So this is within the past decade, a very successful program, very potent postseason program. They know what they're doing this time of year, and Carroll's got to stop a force in Westfield that, like you said, snuck that one out. Carroll's been on the dominating end of some of these sectional wins, so I think it all comes to a head here tonight.
All right, well, the late Herb Brooks told his hockey team before they beat the Russians, great moments are born out of great opportunity. And the Chargers have a great opportunity here tonight to win their first regional championship in school history. We will have the coin toss here shortly. With the win, it'd be interesting to see the team that wins the toss, what they want to do. That win will be a factor, and we got a couple of great quarterbacks in this game. Of course, everybody knows about Jeff Becker, and the young man who quarterbacks Westfield, Maximus Webster. He's put up some really gaudy numbers. The one statistic that catches my eye, Blake, is that Webster is a young man who just does not turn the ball over. He's only thrown 2 interceptions out of 157 attempts this season.
Yeah, and everybody around here knows that Jeff Becker might be, up there with Carson Clark as kind of the class, the gem of the SAC and surrounding area in terms of quarterback play. Webster's thrown for, I think it was almost 600 more yards this season than Becker. Now, given Becker has also added a running element to his game, I think that hasn't shown up quite like it has in the past couple years, and that's maybe taken away from his sheer passing numbers. But I think that Webster's numbers really show that they also have weapons. They got guys to spread the ball around. Jackson Wasserstrom, Micah Hauser, I'm sure we're going to talk a whole lot about tonight. He's going to run the ball a whole lot too. Gabe Arambalace, he's a freshman. So they got weapons just like Carroll does. I'm telling you, this is going to be some firepower on offense. Like it's led by Jeff Becker on Carroll, it's going to be led by Maximum Webster on the other side for Westfield.
One young man on that defensive line for Westfield. We want to keep an eye on number 2, Popeye Williams.
That's right.
He's a senior. He's heading to Louisville. 67 tackles this year, 13 and a half tackles for loss and 4 sacks. And he just messes up everything. And that's the guy that they have to contain tonight. Again, he wears number 2 for Westfield. We're going to have the coin toss now. Carroll in their home blue jerseys. Westfield in their road whites with the green numerals. And Neon Nation is ready to explode here. And, well,
all huddled together to keep warm.
Blake, you played football. What's going through these minds and stomachs of these players right now?
Well, especially when it's, the potential of your last home game. I mean, it's a fact. You just want to keep playing with your boys. This is just another opportunity to have this week of practice, to continue this legacy that you have set and continue having fun. I mean, this is the best time of year. It is nerve-wracking. It's got your stomach in knots possibly, but it's the best time of year. And guys like Jeff Becker, who have been superstars in this area, this is where they really cement their legacy, I think. And Westfield, same way. They're coming off of a state title game loss, so they're most definitely trying to get back to that point. So it's a place that you've seen before. If Westfield, if you're Carroll, it's heights that your school's maybe never seen. So that's also something going through your head is we can really establish a legacy. We can cement our place in the upper echelon of Carroll football teams that have ever come through here, and I think they're very capable of it. I think Westfield's very capable of getting to another state title game, and I think that this clash is going to be excellent in the regional round tonight. I think we're going to see an awesome game. I'm expecting 2 in a row, Jim. You went from all your blowouts to potentially 2 really, really good games at most critical time in the season.
Braden Staley, number 5. George Valdez, number 8. Dylan Bennett, number 10. Back deep to receive the opening kickoff for the Carroll Chargers. Chargers will defend the goal to our left, and so they'll be moving into the wind here in the first quarter. And we are ready to light the candle here at Carroll High School. Hope you enjoy the action. Hopefully you're dry and warm. Caleb King, who booted the game-winning field goal last Friday for Westfield, he's the reason they're still playing. And fasten your seatbelts, as Betty Davis once said. We are set to go. The press box is literally shaking right now. Everybody jumping up and down in the bleachers. Not a full house, but it's a noisy crowd and a big crowd. And we are underway in this regional championship game in Class 6A. It's a short kick to the far side, taken at the 15. Up to the 20 and up to the 25, the 26-yard line. The opening kickoff returned by Carroll's Staley. Braden Staley returned the opening kick. Had to look through the binoculars right into those lights over there on the far side.
Yeah,
on the lower level,
Get ready for a light show. If you haven't watched any of Carroll's home games this year, you're in for a treat whenever they reach that end zone.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with your computer if you start seeing the lights.
That's what we thought the first time, but something was going on with us, or something was, going on with the stadium lights, but that's how they want it.
4 receivers, 2 on each side. First play from scrimmage here in this regional title game. Chargers run it up the middle and a couple of yards. Shamrock defense in a bad humor right off the start. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 as was Carmody carrying the ball right up the middle.
Yeah, a pair of seniors in the middle of that defensive line. You got Vance Farrar, 6'4", 251. You also got Dalen Blanding. He too is a senior.
3 receivers to the near side. Becker, sprint option to the near side. His pass is caught. Cooper Rudolph at midfield. A pickup of 23 yards.
Let's check it out, our first Traction AP replay of the night. And this is what makes Becker so good, right? When he's under duress, just being able to that little flash fake, step up in the pocket, know exactly where that line of scrimmage is, and deliver a beautiful ball to Rudolph. And they're going with some tempo.
Carmody breaks a tackle, and he's down to the 41-yard line after a gain of 8 yards.
Well, I've been burnt on showing y'all some replays here when we're at Carroll just because they play with so much tempo. We'll be selective with that from now on, but expect them to play with this urgency, especially early on.
2nd and 2 for Carroll at the Westfield 41. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. And Becker, delayed handoff. No, it's a fake. Becker keeps it. First down and plenty more. Out of bounds around the 30. They'll mark him out at the 31, give him 10 yards and a Carroll first down.
And that's the running game that Becker's been involved with this year coming into tonight. 692 yards on the season, along with his 1,200 or so passing yards. That's just part of his game now.
Well, they got 3 receivers split to the left, 1 to the near side. First down from the Westfield 31. And another fake to Carmody. Becker keeps it, and Becker's going to be dropped behind the line of scrimmage as that play was blown up by a young man, Tyler Dykels.
Yeah, one of their linebackers, a junior linebacker out there.
And he's a dandy.
Yeah, they got those. You'll watch these tackles for Carroll do a really good job. Don't know if they can get a whole lot of one-on-one blocks with Popeye Williams, but that might not be the case. They like to roll around inside and lead blocks, so I think we'll see a lot of that and leaving Popeye Williams to possibly be away from the play.
Now, Aiden Lazoff has an issue with his helmet, apparently, and he has to come out for this play. And Dykos is a young man on defense that watch out for number 53 of your Carroll. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the near side. 2nd and 12 for Carroll as they scrimmage behind the markers here. The ball at the Shamrock 33-yard line. Carmody gets away from one man, brought down from behind the 30-yard line. Excellent ankle tackle there by Dalen Blanding, number 77, a 5'11", 225 senior. And I would assume Carroll's in 4-down territory here. So they face 3rd and 9 at the Westfield 30, lined against the 21. Actually just shy of the 21. 2 receivers on each side. Becker to the air, has time, and his pass is too high, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Trayvon Hatchett, number 1 for Westfield. He's up to the 25 and brought down at the 27-yard line. The ball came out, but the officials say he was down. He was down. Turnover, Carroll. Westfield takes over at their own 27. The officials from Huntertown, who paid their way in, thought that should have been a fumble, but the official whose opinion counts was emphatic with his call, saying the Shamrock player Hatchett was down before the ball came out.
Yeah, what a turn of events that was and could have even been. Just too high. I like the aggression from this Carroll passing game early, but taken advantage of by Trayvon Hatchett that time.
First down for Westfield. Their first possession of the night. They'll run it to the near side. Michael Hauser. And he is an excellent football player who is outstanding on both sides of the line. We have a penalty flag down following a nearly 6-yard gain. And the way the Shamrocks are moving back, it's going to be a hold on Westfield. So maybe some early game jitters there. The penalty flag thrown is down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, but even so, even with that penalty, they're obviously moving backwards. But I think you can see just the sheer speed, the explosion of Hauser, and the push that some of these guys up front can get, and the speed that these defensive backs for Carroll are going to have to play with. Possibly, those safeties are awesome. Braden Steely's a sophomore. Jorge Valdez, an awesome tackler. They're going to have to take great angles. They're going to have great closing speed, and they're going to have to tackle that man in space. That was an early example of what you might see a lot tonight.
The penalty is marked off in the spot of infraction, which was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So they lose 12 yards right there. Now they face 1st and 22. Shamrock ball, their own 15. Carroll showed blitz, and did they jump off the side, or was there movement on the line? The Chargers are clapping, and Westfield's going the wrong way right now.
Talk about taking all the momentum away after a pick.
Is our referee mic'd up tonight? I guess not.
That's a thing we've seen from Carroll going back to the turnover is sometimes on those, they like to be aggressive and air it out anyways, but especially on some of these first possessions. I was here in the Northrop game. They threw a pick, a deep ball that got picked off by safety. I want to say the Wayne game had a similar type of play, and then you saw that one tonight. So they haven't let it bother them yet. We'll see what happens.
1st and 27. The pass is caught. They'll get some of the penalty yardage back. A 13-yard pickup as Webster completes his first pass of the night. And it was caught by Nick DePasquale.
De Pasquale, maybe?
Pasquale, yes.
I think that's what I heard one of the indie stations
Pasquale
call out as well. Yeah, another one of their
Pasquale.
senior playmakers. He's listed as a tight end, 6'2", 195, one of their pass catchers.
So they get 13 yards. And now it's second down and 14 for Westfield. The ball at their own 23-yard line, trips to the near side. And the Shamrocks run it. There goes Hauser off the right side. And he is out of bounds, close to a first down. He is just short by about a yard, where they're marking him at the 36. So he picked up 13 yards right there.
When they had the trips down there, just a little counter play into the boundary and caught some of those the Carroll linebackers, Carroll second-level guys with their eyes in the backfield, taking just a little bit of a hesitation the wrong way, and Hauser's too fast for that. And now after, first and 30 almost, they're at 3rd and 2.
Yeah, they only need a yard here. Ball to the 36-yard line, 3 receivers to the near side, and they'll keep it on the ground. Hauser, wow, he is stopped right at the marker. The spot's going to be important, but he did lean forward far enough and got the first down by a couple of feet.
We'll let y'all decide at home on the AP or Traction AP replay. Even 65, they're doing a similar thing that Carroll does with their tackles. That's big number 65, Zach Williams, folding around, and he was even kind of patient, but a good job by the Carroll front to get that penetration, have him really, kind of stifled. Nowhere for Williams to pull up and make a lead block, but Hauser just enough for the first down.
So after facing 1st and 27, Westfield converts, and there's a pass that's complete. Westfield into Carroll territory. Des Pasquale. I'll get that name down in a moment. He made the reception.
Just another one of these little pop passes, a little flash fake, and read that linebacker. Webster's a good quarterback. I mean, he's got his eyes in the right place.
They go hurry up. Play action on first down, and he wants it. He's got a man wide open. Oh, my goodness. Incomplete. The receiver, obviously a busted coverage there. Jackson Wasserstrom. I mean, he was open from here to you.
Yeah, definitely a broken coverage. That's the wrong play I'm showing you. Sorry there, folks. But he, I think just kind of slipped by the corner there along the sideline and wide open.
So now second down and 10 for Westfield. The ball's at the Carroll 47-yard line. No score. 7:45 to go in the opening quarter. Play clock is down to 3. They get the play off in time, and it's a fake handoff. The quarterback keeps the ball, Webster, and he picks up about 5 yards to the 42-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
So this is one thing that Carroll's defense allowing, once again, 0 points in the sectional tournament, those 2-game sectional tournament. They didn't allow a single point, and part of it just getting off the field. These money downs, what Carroll's been so good at, they're so athletic, they're so able to, these backers are able to fill the run but also defend the pass. Dylan Bennett, Alex Smith, those type of guys all over the field, and they will have to be on 3rd down.
On 3rd and 5, they'll run it. Hauser is stopped short of the first down. He is about 2 yards shy. Brought down at the 39-yard line by Liam Ottenweller, who has 33 tackles this year.
And nothing fancy. I mean, just a little, they roll that tackle up in there. Williams once again, but not fooled with the Carroll defense. Only a 2-yard game, and they needed 5. And they're 4th down territory for this offense as well. We're seeing some aggression so far.
Line the gain is the 37. Play clock says 7. Webster may be checking off here. They'll keep it on the ground and get the first down and then some. Hauser all the way down to the Carroll 30-yard line, maybe the 29. 10 yards for Hauser, who already has 28 yards on 4 carries. First down, Westfield.
We'll watch it one more time. It's easy to see who their main guy is, who their bell cow is, for good reason. Just a little stutter step in there in the explosion. Good job by the right side of that offensive line for Westfield, crashing down, allowing that cutback lane, and a good vision by Hauser and a little jump cut to get back out there. First down.
2 receivers to this side, 1 to the right. And the Shamrocks keep the ball on the ground. They only get a couple of yards that time. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. as the ball carrier was Trayvon Hatchett, who made the interception earlier that stopped the Carroll scoring drive in the red zone. Hatchett's first carry of the night. 2nd down and 8 for Westfield. No score, clock moving with 5:38 to go in the opening quarter. Carroll had a nice drive going, but it was stopped by a Trayvon Hatchett interception. Westfield took over, and now they've marched the ball down to the Carroll 27 after being a one-time 1st and 27. And it's an end around. That's Aaron Bowles carrying the ball, a freshman. And he got about 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Shamrocks.
And when Westfield runs those plays, it's more than likely going to be away from the crashing outside backer. That time it was into the boundary. It'll either be number 6 in blue, Tucker Steely. This out now is Maddox Flaw, number 12. Those guys very often just crash off that edge. The play right before that was a good job of, Steely crashing down and just following that puller. That time they did the same thing, except Westfield ran away from it on the end around. We might see more of that.
They're swinging out to the right flat. Oh, it's a trickeration play, and that play has no chance whatsoever, as there was a lot of contact around the goal line. Jackson Wasserstrom throwing a pass. It's incomplete, but there is a flag down. There is a penalty flag down, and obviously pass interference against Carroll. There was a lot of contact and holding, and the fans don't like it, but it's going to be a 1st down for Westfield.
Yeah, I guess I think maybe the main issue, that is, for the record, number 14 for Carroll. That is Aaron Stewart, talented defensive back. He's in coverage there, and he did a good job squeezing him to the sideline, but he didn't look back for the ball. We'll watch it one more time. Early deception, trick plays coming out early for Westfield. They're employing really all the stops on this drive, but I think the main issue was Stewart didn't look back. Was in a great job, not fooled really that time at all. Just a little bit too much contact and not looking back for the ball.
Well, they mark off the penalty half the distance to the goal line, and the ball now spotted at the Carroll 11. Westfield in the red zone on their opening possession. 1st down and 10. They can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. And it's a fake handoff, and Webster stacked up after a gain of only 1 yard. The Carroll defense did not buy the fake.
So here it is again. This is kind of what I was talking about, except they got both Flaw and Steely out that time, and it wasn't a blitz. Steely just doing a great job of reading that play, watching it develop, and I don't know exactly who Webster was reading, but if it was Steely put him in a bind. Made it almost impossible for him to get the read off, and made the play for, just a 1 yard gain. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Westfield working with 2nd and 10.
Again, the Shamrocks can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. 2nd down and 9 from the 10. Webster's pass in the right flat. It's caught to the 5 and out of bounds at the 3. Aaron Bowles, Gabriel Aaron Bowles, a freshman, 6'2", 202 freshman. And Aaron Bowles is marked out of bounds, it looks like, at the 3. So it'll be 3rd down and about a yard and a half for Westfield.
Yeah, and you saw those guys just for Carroll playing, 10, 12, 15 yards back, and good blockers out there for Westfield. Just got hands on them quick, and a big head of steam for a Rambles.
I wonder if 22 is going to get the ball here. Well, now they may be checking off. Play clock at 7. 6, 5. They better hurry. 3, 2 seconds, 1 second, and they got the play off in time. Option look, and the quarterback, Webster, takes it in for a Westfield touchdown. The old option trick there, Chief. And Maximus Webster scores his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Westfield marches the ball almost over 70 yards. Looks like, I think it was 73 yards when they took over following the interception. Again, they were 1st and 27 at one point. Managed to get out of a tough spot, and then just slowly but surely matriculated the ball down the field and scored. Caleb King's extra point attempt now. High snap. It's up, and it is good. Boy, that was not pretty, but it was effective. And we have a timeout with 3:46 to go in the first quarter. Westfield 7, Carroll nothing. We'll step aside. We're back in a moment on Summit City Sports.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Welcome back, everybody. Jim Measel here, along with Blake Baker. Our cameraman is Aiden Orth. 3:46 to go in the first quarter. The Westfield Shamrocks marching 73 yards in their opening possession, following an interception by Carroll, which ended a good-looking scoring drive for the Chargers. 7-0 favor the Shamrocks. And the kick is coming down to the 7-yard line. It's taken there by Steely. Steely is across the 20. Steely still on his feet to the 25. And it's brought down around the 28-yard line.
Steely is a talented returner, but that was kind of a shaky catch, a shaky actual, reception of that kickoff. But did a little bit of dancing and pretty good field position for Carroll to work with. And like I said, they show that aggression a lot on the opening drive, and they're not afraid to throw that thing around the yard, and Jeff Becker is more than capable of doing it. It's just I think you're going to have to get Carmody involved a little bit, and I like the threat of Jeff Becker in the running game, especially with guys like Coverstone, your real, true deep threat out of it. You're going to have to be a little bit more strategic, I think, in moving it against this Westfield defense.
All right, 3 receivers, 2 in each on this side for Carroll. First down for the Chargers at their own 28. They're down 7-0. And they'll run it to the nearest side, trying to get the corner. It's Nathan Starks, and Starks has a nice gain of 9 yards to the 37-yard line on first down. That was student body right there.
Yeah, it was a good job. Call it a gag play. Pull both those guards around. Just get a hands on both of them. Number 59, I think that's Tyler Wiersma, doing a good job leading the way for Starks right there, but Starks really stringing that one out.
On 2nd and 1, Starks stacked up and pushed back. Let's see where they're going to mark his forward progress. They're going to put him down at the 36. That's going to be a loss of 1.
And there's Popeye Williams getting involved. He's the trailer there. I think that left side of that Westfield D-line, though, really crashing, making Starks change his whole direction. And Popeye Williams, like I said, they're going to pull some of those tackles around and make, Popeye Williams kind of a non-factor that time, just was patient, came down the line and made the play for a loss.
They've emptied the backfield on 3rd and 2. Becker's pass caught. First down, Carroll. Just a little pitch and catch right there with Gabriel Starks. Gain of 5, first down Chargers, their 3rd first down.
And this is Becker knowing exactly what to do with it. Just a little timing pattern, a little lofty pass, and good toe tap to get that first down. Well executed.
First down Carroll at their own 42. They're down 7-0. Chargers running on first down to the 46-yard line. That'll be a 4-yard pickup. And again, it was Starks carrying the ball. We have not seen Carmody in this possession.
I think you saw Micah Hauser make the tackle there. Not only is he a threat on offense, he's their starting safety on defense. He and Dylan Theineman, big time playmakers in that Westfield secondary for sure.
4 receivers, 2 in each side now. 2nd down and 6 for Carroll at their own 46. And it's Becker faking the handoff. He keeps it, gets the first down, and is brought down at the 46-yard line. Should be a 2-point takedown right there.
A little suplex.
Not quite wrestling season.
We're getting there. I mean, this is once again Becker just knowing exactly what to do. They pull that around as Rust. He does a good job and a good block by the wing there. That might have been Lazoff. Yeah, suplex. Good tackle by Hatchett, but better run by Becker results in first down.
Chargers into Shamrock territory. First down at the Westfield 42. Shamrocks on top, 7-0 with 2:13 to go in the opening quarter. 3 receivers, 2 to the left. On first down, Play action fake. Becker in trouble, and then down he goes. Ball came out. Ball came out. Shamrocks say they have it, and they do. And it looks like number 53, Tyler Dykels, made the fumble recovery. And 2 turnovers now for Carroll. And a shaken up Charger player.
And we'll take a look at it first. There's the Popeye Williams effect. He's taken on. They have to put A.J. Lazoff over there, number 11 for Carroll, to chip on that. Let's check it out one more time.
Becker was shaken up, but he gets up and walks off under his own power. But Blake, you just cannot turn the ball over anytime, especially in a regional championship game. And now 2 turnovers for Carroll. They have been pretty good in that category coming into this ball game.
Yeah, and that's at one point, I don't have the exact updated numbers, but I know through at least real late in the regular season, they hadn't lost a fumble since that Lures game here week 1. And that was really, I think, a big testament to the improvements they'd made. I also want to give a shout-out, 38, Evan Cannon in white. He's the one that made that play. Popeye Williams taking on the block, and Cannon kind of slipping right by him. Becker didn't even see him. He's the one that made the sack fumble.
So a short field for Westfield following the fumble recovery. And they'll run it on first down, a big gain. And running downhill is Hauser. A chunk of 10 yards there for Hauser, giving him 38 yards on 5 carries unofficially. First down, Shamrocks. That's their 5th.
That's just a good job of sealing that side over there. It might have been a Rambolace or Di Pasquale making the block there, but they kind of folded that tackle, Zach Williams, up inside, and Hauser just replaced him. Good vision.
First down for Westfield. Here's Webster. Webster's going to run now. He's to the 40 and looks to have another first down. They're going to spot him just beyond the marker. 11 yards and a first down for the Shamrocks.
And when you can get him to shake guys like Dylan Bennett, I don't think this was really a run-pass option, but the instincts of Maximus Weber or Webster, and they had 2 linebackers, did Carroll, to make that play, but Webster's a big kid. He's a fast kid. He knows where to go. He runs north and south, and, Braden Steele, the one having to come up and make that play after being in coverage. Good recognition. And good coverage downfield by Carroll, too.
And the snow has returned to Huntertown on 1st and 10. Look at Hauser bounce away from the containment and pick up about 7 yards. Micah Hauser, my goodness. 18 touchdowns this season for that young man.
And, you like the patience from the running back as well. Hauser's the one that's really churning out those yards. But look at the patience of the line, staying a hat on a hat. And even when Hauser's got to dance around back there, making sure that their guys are blocked.
Webster is forced to keep it and is stopped short of the first down at the 25-yard line. Light snow falling now at the Gorsuch Athletic Complex, but it's not falling as strong as it did around 6:45 when we had a squall move through here.
30 seconds left in this opening quarter.
And they're going to get off one more play.
It's a 3rd and 1. Big play at that.
About a 2-second differential between the game clock and the play clock. 3rd and 1. And Webster's going to throw on 3rd and 1. And he fires once and all. And it is broken up in the end zone. Incomplete. Pass broken up by Braden Steele. That'll bring up 4th down. 4th and 1.
Yeah, a little flash fake, and they throw Hauser in a pass blocking situation. A little off-balance throw that he actually had the man. I think it was a couple steps on Steele, but just a little bit underthrown. Good recovery by Steele. He didn't turn around either, but made a play on the ball with the receiver's hands, just shooting his hands where the receiver's eyes followed the ball into his hands. Good job knocking that away. And they're facing 4th down and 1. Again, 4-down territory. This will likely be the last play of this quarter. 9.6 seconds left in it.
Di Pasquale was the attendant receiver. They run it. There was a hit at the line of scrimmage, but the ball carrier Hauser kept driving, and he got the yardage necessary for the first down. He got 2 yards there, and that is how the first quarter will come to an end. So we'll change ends after 1 quarter. It's Westfield 7, Carroll nothing. Back with the second quarter in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care. and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
There are tons of benefits to using compression therapy, but my favorite are speeding up muscle recovery, reducing swelling and inflammation, and improving my athletic performance.
All right, well, back here at Carroll, we understand that Dwenger is losing to Zionsville 27-7. So the Saints have some catching up to do. Here the Carroll Chargers trail the Westfield Shamrocks 7-0 as we start the second quarter. It'll be first down for the Shamrocks at the Carroll 23 as the Chargers have been guilty of 2 turnovers. Westfield trying to cash in on another Carroll turnover here. They marched at 73 yards following an interception, and they recovered a fumble at their own 45. Now they're down to the Carroll 23.
And Webster just making some good decisions so far. He is, avoiding those turnovers. He's been put in good situations by the play calling and definitely the help of Micah Hauser so far.
2 receivers on each side. They'll throw on first down. Webster's pass too high for his intended receiver, who was Gabriel Arenbols. The coverage by George Valdez.
They're not afraid to throw that thing over the middle. They're not afraid to let their playmakers go up and get it. Yeah, good job. Just a simple post route. Good break on it by Jorge Valdez. Just a little bit high on the touch from Webster, but set his guy up. It's good, better play by Valdez to break that one up.
Webster now 3 of 6 in the air for 36 yards. Second down and 10 for Westfield. The ball's at the Carroll 23, just underway in the second quarter. Westfield leads Carroll 7-0. And Webster sets up a screen. And it's Hauser. And he is up to the 16-yard line after a pickup of 7 yards. Was there a flag down there?
Yeah, I think they're going to get, just in the quickness of all that, I think it was a Ramble Ace number 7 who they're going to call. He was just in that second level beyond Hauser when Hauser caught that ball. Yeah, they'll talk it over and we'll see. They're going to wave it off.
Oh, all right.
Nothing going on.
Never mind.
So just a clean screen play. Carroll does like to bring a little bit of pressure, especially from those outside backers. I don't know if they brought it all that time, but to alleviate the pressure anyway, what could have been that little screen pass. And Hauser's definitely a good pass catcher for this offense and get him in a position where Carroll's a little bit confused. Might not see the last of that.
On 3rd and 2, Webster rolling to his right, and he'll run now. Flag is down. The pass is caught inside the 10, but we have penalty flags down, 2 of them, so we'll have to sort this out with 11:24 to go until halftime. This could be a situation where there is an offsetting penalties.
I think you definitely have a hold on Ottenweiler, and it looks like an eligible man downfield. If the black hat touching his hat, yep, that's what they're going to call, and a hold. So they're going to have to decide which one to take. We'll take a look at it on the Traction AP replay. Number 32 in blue, Ottenweiler, he's the one that's getting held right there, and he tries to rush Webster, who made a good instinct and throw that one into a tight window, but it's coming back regardless.
All right, which one will Carroll take here? 10-yard penalty. Now the flag was thrown at the 20 for the hold. I assume that's where the spot of infraction was. If that's the case, the Shamrocks will be pushed back to the Carroll 30, and that indeed is the case. That'll be their 3rd penalty for 25 yards. And bottom line, the Shamrocks face 3rd and 17 now at the Carroll 30. So instead of 1st and goal inside the 10, the holding penalty, puts the Shamrocks well behind the markers. 3rd and 17. Well, they faced 1st and 27 on their opening possession and overcame that.
Yeah, the old cliche is avoid the turnovers and penalties. Well, Carroll's had all the turnovers, and it hasn't hurt them too much, but Westfield is the one suffering from these penalties, putting themselves behind the chains, and yeah, big down right here, especially for Carroll.
They're probably in 4-down territory. They'll hand it off. That's Hatchett looking for running room, gets the corner and is out of bounds around the 20. Let's see where they're going to spot him out. Looks like it's going to be inside the 20 at the 19. So they get 11 yards. It'll be 4th down. Now, Caleb King is an excellent place kicker, and he may come out here for a field goal attempt.
Just to not quite the angle that Valdez could have had in the best case. A few extra yards for Hatchett, but yeah, too far on the 3rd and 17 or whatever it was for them to convert, so King will go ahead and kick it.
36-yard attempt, angle to the left. Bit of a high snap. It's in the air. It's in that direction. The kick is good. A 36-yard field goal for Caleb King. King crowns one from 36 yards. Time out of the field. The score now, Westfield 10, Carroll nothing. We'll step aside. Back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. Watching skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level. Catching and shooting, working on ball handling. In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids just able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gorsuch Athletic Complex at Carroll High School. Jim Measle here, along with Blake Baker. Our cameraman is Aiden Orth. The Westfield Shamrocks on top of the Carroll Chargers, 10-0. Shamrocks taking advantage of 2 Carroll turnovers to get their points. Caleb King just booted a 36-yard field goal, and now he kicks off for Westfield. To the far side it goes, bounces at the 12 to the 10-yard line, and it's picked up at the 10 and returned shy of the 20-yard line. Nice job by Westfield's coverage team there. And the kick was returned by George Valdez. And Carroll with field position that's not exactly great. They started their own 19-yard line.
This is where you can't let it get away from you. I mean, I think you've established a little momentum. You prove that you can run the ball even without some of your playmakers. Carmody, I don't think we've seen a whole lot of. Coverstone's obviously out. They've moved the ball. They just can't, finish anything off because of these turnovers.
First down at the 19-yard line for Carroll. And they'll run it on first down up the middle across the 25. Close to a first down to the 28-yard line. Gain of 9 yards for Starks. And we have not seen Carmody since the opening series.
They're going quick again. I love when they throw A.J. Lazoff at the wing here. He's the, I guess you could call it a trip to the bottom of your screen. He's the one lined up right next to the tackle. He's good in that position.
Second down and 1 for Carroll at their own 28, trailing 10-0. Starks up the middle. Nice hole. Got the first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line, a gain of 4.
Yeah, and the reason that Lazoff was out there that time was to get an extra set of hands on Popeye Williams, who we've hyped up just a little bit leading up to this. But that time they ran away from Williams, and it resulted in the first down.
First down, Carroll. They're out to their own 32. And Becker hands it off. Starks tries to get the corner and is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. You saw the quickness of that Westfield defense on that play. Loss of 2, and coming up to make the stop for the Shamrocks, number 21, Dylan Feineman. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Yeah, he made the All-State team last year, the junior All-State team as a sophomore. So he's a big talent out there. We're going to see a lot of him.
On 2nd and 12, Becker's pass is caught. That's going to be a first down across the 45. The reception made by Rudolph. Well, with the snow, it's kind of a Christmas feel to it, so it's a good night for a guy named Rudolph. 15 yards in that pickup. First down, Carroll, as they're out to their own 47 now.
Rudolph looking like Becker's safety valve, his go-to guy here with the cover stone out.
Fake handoff. Becker keeps the ball around the right end, and it's out of bounds into the Shamrocks bench at the midfield stripe. And forced out of bounds by Trayvon Hatchett, who earlier picked off a Becker pass. That, by the way, was Hatchett's third interception of the season. Ball is at the midfield stripe. 2nd down and 7 for the Carroll Chargers. And it's another fake handoff. Becker keeps it, breaks a tackle, spins down to the 42-yard line. What a run by the Charger quarterback. A pickup of 8 yards and a first down for Carroll.
He's slippery. He's a lot quicker than he looks. He makes good decisions. Little midline play it looked like where you read that inside defender coming in, and that's a quarterback that can make good decisions. Maybe one of his best assets in the running game, that little midline play, and Becker converted.
Chargers now with 7 first downs unofficially. 4 receivers, 3 on this side. They'll flip it out here, and the pass incomplete. Intended for Lazoff. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for Carroll at the Westfield 42. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Westfield leads 10-0. Becker now 3 of 5 in the air for 43 yards and a pick. 2nd down and 10 for Carroll at the Westfield 42-yard line. 2 receivers on each side, 1 setback. And it's a running play. And Starks is stacked up at the 39-yard line and driven back. They'll give him his forward progress. A pickup of 3 yards. Bring up 3rd down and 7 for Carroll.
Good job gang tackling by especially the linebackers and secondary of this Westfield defense. They're not letting Carroll get any yards beyond initial contact. I think that's one thing that Hauser's done a pretty good job of, and Webster's done a little bit of in the running game too, just yards after contact, not allowing that on defense.
3rd and 7 for Carroll at the Westfield 39-yard line. Becker to the air. He throws from the far side and a jump ball, and it's intercepted, but he was out of bounds. Hatchett almost had his 2nd pick of the night, but he ran out of real estate, they say. So it's an incomplete pass, 4th down. Boos, say the fans, as they express their unhappiness again, and I don't know what the anger was all about. It looked like he was out of bounds. So 4th down and 7, and the Chargers decide to play field position here. They send out the punt team. Evan Jester is out, averaging nearly 37 yards a punt this year. His longest is 60 yards. A little bit of a wide snap. Jester gets it off towards the far side. Fumble and out of bounds inside the 10. But Westfield will take over deep in their own territory at the 9 as the Chargers decide not to go for it on 4th and 7. Instead, they decide to play field position. And it's important here now for the defense to pin the Shamrocks deep in their own territory and give the offense the ball back with a short field. 8:07 to go first half. Westfield Shamrocks 10, Carroll Chargers nothing. Nice crowd on hand here tonight at the Gorsuch Athletic Complex. Light snow falling right now. Temperature 35 degrees at game time. Was expected to drop to near 30 by the time we're done. It was an 8 o'clock start because of the travel involved for Westfield. Don't quite know what the delay is all about here, but now we're ready to go. Thank goodness we got this beautiful new press box here at Carroll. We'd be kind of shivering right now. 3 receivers on this side on first down. It's a running play, and there goes Hauser. Hauser bounces it off to the outside, has a first down, and a big chunk of yardage for Micah Hauser. All the way down to the Shamrocks' 27-yard line. Give him 18 yards on that carry. 65 yards for Hauser on 8 carries. Well, right now, the two Summit Athletic Conference teams playing for regional titles tonight are losing. Wingers down 28-7 to Zionsville. Here, Carroll trails Westfield 10-0. On first down, Hauser tries to cut it back to the inside, but the Carroll defense bottles him up this time, and it's only a 1-yard gain. Maxton Wired among those in on the tackle, number 43.
Yeah, he's one of those talented linebackers. He, Alex Smith, Dylan Bennett, Tucker Steele, those guys really fly around. Wired's had a number of picks on the year. I think he's had some sacks. He's been all over the place, and they're going to need a little bit more out of him, scraping over top of these Westfield linemen who've done a good job of getting to that second level. Need more of this 3-man rush from Carroll.
On 2nd and 9, a pass too high and a near pick. Oh, Nelly. Oh, my. Valdez almost had himself a pick at midfield. That would have been huge.
No doubt. And just a little bit high from Webster, and he had the man, and Valdez kind of on an island out there having to make a decision between two post routes, it looked like. One of them got by the outside defender, but almost handed a gift. However, couldn't come down with it. Webster and Westfield still alive here on 3rd and 9. Big down for this Carroll defense. You cannot keep them on the field. Westfield's going to call a timeout to talk this one over.
All right, we'll step aside. 10-0 Westfield. Back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
There are tons of benefits to using compression therapy, but my favorite are speeding up muscle recovery, reducing swelling and inflammation, and improving my athletic performance.
Welcome back, everybody. Jim Measle here, along with Blake Baker, Aiden Orth handling the camera tonight. Regional championship game in Class 6A. Out of the Westfield timeout. Shamrocks face 3rd and 9 from their own 29. Webster has time. He fires. Nearly intercepted again. Mercy. Wired could not bring it in, but it's 4th down now. Westfield has to punt the ball away.
And it's a good job of disguising themselves and being in the right place, and Wired there just kind of mirroring the quarterback, reading his eyes, did an awesome job except for bringing that one down. And like I said, that's a guy who's got a couple of picks on the year. He's shown that he can be all over the place. He's good in coverage. Yeah, just a play that you got to bring down. I mean, just one, especially with the turnover battle already 2-0 in Westfield's favor.
Hafner's back deep to receive the punt for Carroll. And it takes a big Westfield bounce across the 35 and will roll dead at the 33. So let's see, 21, 31, and 7. That's a 38-yard punt, no return. And Carroll, trailing 10-0, takes over at their own 34. First down for the Chargers, 7:04 to go in the first half. Chargers have looked impressive on offense tonight, but the turnover bug has bitten them a couple of times. They're -2 tonight. That's rarity for Carroll.
It's time for Becker to settle in for sure.
3 receivers, 2 on the right. And it's a running play to the 37-yard line. Chargers keeping the ball on the ground. And again, that starts. And something must be wrong with Carmody. We have not seen him since the opening series.
Well, on a night, too, where your passing game might be a little bit affected by the wind, they're certainly keeping it on the ground primarily so far.
On 2nd and 7, Becker to the air. He throws on the far side, has the receiver. It's Rudolph with the first down marker. He's dropped right there. That'll be 7 yards and a Carroll first down. And now some stuff after the whistle. Oh, no, they're not going to give him the first down. Wow. Oh,
well, let's check it out. That's an excellent protection. I know it was a little quick timing pattern there. Good route by Rudolph to get that separation. But, yeah, no, he looked – that is the opposite of a generous spot, I will say.
Well, 3rd and 1, that's the bottom line. Chargers will apparently get the first down this time to the 45-yard line. As it was Starks keeping the ball. First down for the Chargers. They're 8th at their own 45.
Popeye Williams did affect that one, though. The rush on Jake Russ there, the left tackle for Carroll, forced that one back in, and Starks fortunate enough to get over that first down marker, but stuffed kind of inside and moved the chain regardless.
3 receivers, 2 on the nearest side. Running play on first down, and only about a 1-yard gain for Starks to the 46. And that was his 10th carry of the night for 32 yards. He's been handling the rock a lot here in this opening half.
And who tackled him on that play was the guy toting the rock for the Rocks, Micah Hauser, making the play there on his fellow running back, his counterpart.
3 receivers to the right. Becker play action, scrambling, dumps it out here to a safety valve. It's caught on a big hit. Oh my! But I tell you what, Lansoff hung on to the football after he got stuck. They're into Shamrock territory at the 48. 6 yards on that carry, or pickup, I should say.
Good enough job by Russ there to get Popeye Williams just too deep. Becker stepping up in the pocket. It definitely influenced the play that was coming. But, yeah, no, good job dumping that off. Good concentration by Lazoff to hold on. 3rd manageable.
Line the gain is the Westfield 45. Shamrocks lead 10-0, and now a whistle just as the ball is snapped, and Carroll will call a timeout. So we'll step aside. 10-0 Westfield. Back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
There are tons of benefits to using compression therapy, but my favorite are speeding up muscle recovery, reducing swelling and inflammation, and improving my athletic performance.
All right, out of the Carroll timeout, 3rd and 3 for the Chargers at the Westfield 48. Westfield leading 10-0. 3 receivers to the right, 1 setback. Becker to throw. Becker fires. Got a man. First down. And they'll mark him down to the 44-yard line. They needed 3. They got 4. First down Chargers. The reception made by Hanson Hafner.
We'll take one more look at it. Just those quick timing routes are what's been working for Becker tonight. He's got his good fakes in the run game. He's got his good timing down with his receivers. That part's looking good so far.
9 first downs for Carroll. Running play on first down. Starks broke 1 tackle and is finally brought down. They're going to spot him down at the 42. A gain of 2 for Starks.
Number 34 looked like in white Colton Vondersar, the sophomore. He's one that was kind of just waiting on that play. I think it was a faux read where it was, I don't think they were reading him. But Starks made that guy miss for an extra couple yards regardless.
Under 4 minutes to play. Both teams have 2 timeouts for the rest of the half. 2nd and 8 for Carroll at the Westfield 42. Becker to the air. And the pass misses. Starks incomplete. 3rd and 8.
just even on these short ones there, not real smooth. I mean, the one to Lazoff, he kind of had to adjust his body for, almost like a back shoulder pass. Same kind of thing on that one to Starks. Becker just having to drop down to these checkdowns and make a move quick, make something work real quick. He makes good decisions. He knows where to go with it, but sometimes when you get a little bit of a rush in your face, especially against hands in your face, guys like Popeye Williams, it influences those throws a little bit.
Line the gains to 34. 5 receivers, empty backfield. Becker under a rush. Pass is incomplete. That's off the antenna receiver. Some of the Carroll fans want interference, but none forthcoming. And it's 4th down, and the Chargers have to punt the ball away.
And now it's tough when you got one-on-one blocks with guys like Popeye Williams. You're going to lose some of those. And you have an empty backfield for Carroll. It's just a recipe for Becker to have to really try and create something on the run. That time Westfield did a good job dropping guys and mirroring Becker a little bit too. I think he did a good job with a touch pass over those guys, but couldn't quite get it to his receiver. And now they're facing a punt.
Well, they're going to come after Jester here. Here comes the jailbreak. Oh, and Jester got out of the way. Fair catch taken at the 10. They sent about 9 guys there. And Jester did a good job getting that punt away under a heavy rush. And now a flag comes in after the play is over. Well after the play was over. There was some why-I-oughta afterwards. And somebody is going to get penalized here with 3:33 to go until halftime.
Yeah, I can't tell. Some of these Carroll guys look confused, frustrated. It looks like they're trying to explain themselves to the coach. We'll see what the man in the white hat's got to say.
Well, let's figure this one out, fellas.
Yeah, it's at midfield, too. I don't know if it'd be a hold maybe on some of those Westfield punt rushers. I don't know what else it would be if it's not something extracurricular. I guess we'll see.
Here's the call. Here's the call.
It'll stick sometime.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes like that anytime, especially in a important game like this.
Well, after such a good job by Jester, too, to avoid the urgency there and get a good punt down to the 10-yard line. Now you're moving into much better field position. They're out to your 25 now. It's almost like you kicked it in the end zone, kind of negate that whole entire punt by Jester. So, yeah, tough going for the Carroll special teams unit. I think even before the game you had mentioned there, Jim, that special teams is going to play a huge part in this game, especially on the end of Carroll.
Special teams defense. Well, Westfield's got +2 on their side right now.
Turnover battle is a loss for Carroll at the moment.
On first down, play action fake. Webster deep down the middle, and it's incomplete. Oh, boy. Another near miss. But it's a tough night to catch the football with the wind and the cold. That ball's a little tougher to catch in November than it is in August or September.
Yeah, but just a beautiful ball and a good job by Arambulis. I don't know if Valdez had his eyes in the backfield for just a second or a little inside move there from Arambulis to get free, but, man, he had a step. He had the inside track on those 2 safeties, and a good ball, just couldn't haul it in.
Second down now for Westfield at their own 25-yard line. 3:27 to go until halftime. Shamrocks on top, 10-0. They'll run it to the near side. Here comes Hatchett. Flag comes in. Hatchett is down at the 31-yard line. 2 flags come in. And now a 3rd flag comes in. Well, as legendary Boston Celtics broadcaster Johnny Most would say, it's getting a little nasty out there.
Well, Dinan is pleading his case to Justin Anderson. It looks like number 15. He's the one being corralled by teammates and told to get it under control a little bit. That late flag must have had something to do with him, or maybe trying to prevent a later flag. But number 24 in blue, that's Alex Smith, one of their playmakers too, putting his arm around the youngster Anderson and telling him that can't really be the case in this game, especially when probably 2 holds coming back against Westfield. Don't want to attack anything that could be offsetting onto the end of that play. And we'll see after this little ref powwow what they decide.
Well, on this 35-degree night, the chili has been running a little hot here in the last few minutes. Well,
when everything's on the line, it's hard to control your aggression sometimes. I think even in the play calling we'll see that, but they got to. These guys got to get it under control. I don't know if that affected this last play. We'll find out what he says.
Holding on the offense. After the play was over, dead ball, personal foul on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So it remains second down. They mark off the holding penalty to the 17. And now, after the play, we'll mark off the penalty against Carroll. All right. And this will put the ball at the 32, and the down box stays at second down.
And it's still second down, but just about, I think, where Hatchett made his way out to on the run. Just an outside zone there. Good job with the pretty good job stringing it out by the Carroll defense and making Hatchett have to keep running wide, but a better push up front given there were some holds. That certainly helps. But, kind of made it right back to where Hatchett ended up, and it's second down.
On second down and 3, the Shamrocks keep the ball on the ground. They're close to a first down. Maybe a foot shy, it looks like.
Ball is just shy of the Westfield 35-yard line.
Hatchett just shy of the first down by about a foot.
Certainly less than a yard that it reads on the scoreboard.
Let's see if Webster goes under center and sneaks it here. 10-0 favor Westfield over Carroll.
And what's interesting is, maybe not quite as crucial a drive on offense it is for the Carroll defense, but Hauser not out there.
Webster calls his own number and got the first down. He didn't sneak it, but he got the necessary foot and then some for the first down.
No, I kind of like that better than a sneak, though. You let him, again, it's tough to exactly determine whether or not it's a read. We'll check it out on the Traction AP replay. I don't think it was. I think it was maybe a designed little blast for him there. Get a little flash fake across, maybe hesitate some of those linebackers, and what's he listed as? Webster is 6'3", 230. Only needed a foot. Get a head of steam on him, and I think you'll see a first down there. That's exactly what happened, and Westfield is rolling once again as the half winds down.
And whistles sound as the ball is snapped. Clock is stopped with 2:11 to go until halftime. And illegal motion against Westfield will push them back 5 yards. That's their 5th penalty for 40 yards. Carroll's been penalized 3 times for 42 yards, but a couple of major penalties on Carroll here in the second quarter. Just surprising lack of discipline by the Chargers a couple of times here in the second quarter.
I think it's just emotions running high. Like you said, it's getting hot up in here. Temperatures flaring, emotion running high. It's just something to get under control.
On 1st and 15, Webster off balance pass is caught. Boy, he threw that one off the wrong foot. And it was caught by Ian Brunch. Or Bruch, rather. I'm sorry.
Just an excellent job of Webster. Wants to throw the check down, well covered, and just a little sidearm throw. Almost, you hate to compare people to Pat Mahomes, but the off balance, the sidearm to get around a guy, that's what it looked like.
Webster calls his own number, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down at the 45-yard line after a gain of 3. 3rd and 3 upcoming for Westfield. The clock winds down to 1:20 to go.
I think Westfield will call timeout.
And they will get the ball to start the second half. Keep that in mind. Oh, and was Webster shaken up?
That could have been it instead.
Oh, that's Maximus Webster shaken up following that last play. And so their backup is Jackson Gilbert. He's a sophomore. He's listed as the backup. Yep, he's out there, number 14. And obviously that would be a tremendous loss for Westfield if Maximus Webster cannot continue.
Well, it looks like he might have to come off for at least one play, taking his helmet off. No, just because it was after the fact. They definitely got some action going on, some throwing back and forth on the sideline in preparation that Webster maybe can't make it back out there. He was holding his face, his nose. I don't know if he got poked in the eye or I don't know what exactly it was, but he definitely was a little woozy getting up. Nothing you want to mess with, especially when it's one of your main guys. But I expect him to continue to stay out there. I'm not sure what's exactly going on. Webster is still in the huddle there. Carroll's defense trying to get a little bit of a eavesdrop on the ref conversation.
This comes with 1:21 to go in the first half. Westfield on top, 10-0. If he was shaken up, he has to come out for a play, unless Westfield called a timeout.
Well, I thought they initially did call the timeout, and then I saw the trainer run out there. And you think at this point that maybe they didn't force a timeout. I'm not really sure what the delay is here.
All right,
hearing
now
some boos from Neon Nation. They want some answers too.
Webster to the sideline. And their backup, Jackson Gilbert.
Well, they kept the timeout too. That might be important as they make their way down the field with 1:10 and counting to go in this first half.
Or they may go Wildcat here.
Yeah, there's Hauser and Hatchett in the backfield.
Yeah, they're going Wildcat. And it's a direct snap to Hauser off the left side. And it looks like he got enough for a first down. He's out of bounds at midfield. Got 6 yards. A huge first down for Westfield.
And I really like that play call.
They may go Wildcat again. Nope, Webster's back in the game.
Well, I really like in a play where you had to have it. You run into the boundary. You let Hauser, the guy who totes the rock and makes all those decisions literally on the run. He's the one that kind of rumbles and gets your team out of bounds, saves the timeout. Now they're into Carroll territory with the fresh set of downs with your quarterback back into the game. I think that was an awesome job utilizing that one down they had to make something happen, and now Webster is going to continue to make things happen if there's any luck over there.
They got that play off just in the nick of time. The play clock was down to 1, and they managed to get 5 yards on the ground, and Westfield will take a timeout. We'll keep it here.
Now there's that second timeout. I jumped the gun the last time. That's important, though. If they saved that one, I don't know if that's the conversation that they were having or, solely if it was Webster had to come off the field. I'm not sure exactly what they were deliberating. But it did take a while. It kind of allowed a faux timeout. In practice, it was probably a timeout for that Westfield sideline to try and figure out how to address Webster not being out there. That paid off for him. 5, 6 yards on first down there paid off for him. Now they got one timeout left. They've proven they can run this ball. They've had a lot of deep chances. They've had guys open, whether they've been just slightly underthrown, not quite hauled in, or broken up by Carroll eventually. They've had some shots downfield. And I expect they'll probably need to pass it. I mean, you only got one timeout left. Yes, Hauser can. Maybe they go Hauser here to get yourself a first down. I bet you get 2 plays called up here, though, if you're looking for hurry up. This is one where you call one in and you immediately get up to the line to either change your mind and spike it, or you got a second play call ready to go. So you can kind of get a 2-for-1 and maybe try and catch this defense sleeping just a little bit, but mostly work and have the time work in your favor and just be efficient. That's going to be important. Already up 10-0, and they'll get the ball out of the second half, I believe. I think Carroll was the one that received it first. So this is a big statement to be made by Carroll's defense if they can get off the field and keep it at 10-0 going into the locker rooms.
2nd and 5 from the 44. 3 receivers on this side. Play action. Webster throws deep down the far side, and it's caught! Out of bounds around the 10, it looks like. The reception made by Wasserstrom, or was he in bounds? He apparently was not in bounds. Ran out of real estate. Caught it on the white line.
Well, let's check it out. Webster he knew exactly what he was doing with it. A beautiful touch pass. Yeah, maybe he finished out of bounds. It didn't look like it was too far out of his route there. That's a good call by the officials. I thought for sure that he hauled that one in bounds. Beautiful throw out off the, not too far behind was the Carroll defender, but a better throw beat him.
East side has beaten Eastbrook on 3rd down and 5. A flag is down. Webster cut down as he's out of bounds around the 39-yard line, but we'll check out the penalty flag. And again, a Class 2A East side in a battle of unbeatens advances in the semi-states. The Blazers defeat Eastbrook 21-17. 14. So congratulations to the East Side Blazers. I'm calling the Blazers the Rodney Dangerfields of Northeast Indiana. I mean, nobody gave them a chance against Lourdes all year long. And they came in the ninth field last week and got the job done.
That's a team that can absolutely control the ball. Laban Davis really, they're kind of like a team we saw last week in Leo, where you kind of know exactly what they're going to do. They're just so good at it, and they got really the guys to make it happen. And I think, Maximus Webster is a guy making it happen over there. He's a little shaken up after getting cut down, like you said there, Jim, but a holding call is going to make this a 3rd and 20 now. So I think this changes things a little bit if you're this Westfield offensive coaching staff. 32 and a half seconds left to go in the half, now back in their own territory. I'm not quite sure that the playbook is the same as it looked when you were on the opposite 40.
The line, the game's to 39 of Carroll. 3rd down and 21. And they'll run it. And it's Trayvon Hatchett picking up about 8 yards. That'll bring up 4th down. And the clock is stopped with 23.7 to go.
Is that a Carroll timeout?
I believe so. So, all right.
It makes it official. There's the aggression we've seen officially all night long from Carroll. They're, and statistics show, I don't have the exact numbers, obviously, but statistics show that your performance in the, early in the second half, maybe however you can quantify momentum is a lot better if you're aggressive in approaching your last chance before the half is over. And if anybody is going to test those numbers, it's going to be Doug Dinan and company here at Carroll. And they got the guys to do it. They haven't had the vertical passing game like they normally do. But they got, Cooper Rudolph is getting 10, 12 yards a catch. A.J. Lazoff is capable of coming out of that wing slot sometimes to sneak into some zones. I mean, Gabe Starks out of the backfield isn't a bad option as well. So they got some dudes who can make it happen. They're just going to have to get some decent field position. I think that's going to determine a lot of what they can do pending this punt from Westfield.
Well, I do see Carmody down here still in uniform, still with a helmet on. But again, we have not seen him since the first series. So on 4th and 13, Westfield will punt it. And the punt is away towards the nearest side. Carroll gets away from it, and it's going to roll dead at the Charger 27. And they stop the clock with 13.3 to go. Carroll has one timeout, and they got to go 74 yards in 13 seconds. Well, the Chargers trailing right now 10-0. 2 Carroll turnovers leading to the Westfield points. And the Chargers look like they're not going to sit on it here.
No, I wouldn't expect them to. I mean, they might hand it off and be a little conservative that way, but they're running a play.
From the 27, Becker will throw. And he throws to the near side, incomplete to midfield.
Had the right idea and a good little adjustment down there by Hafner. Little comeback. I'm not sure if that was designed or if he kind of improvised a little bit, but Becker made the decision. I think his arm didn't quite catch up to where his head was at. That throw was just a little bit short.
Becker now 6 of 12 in the air for 59 yards. And second down for Carroll at their own 27. Just 7.6 seconds to go. Maybe time for 2 plays if they hurry.
They got a timeout left.
Becker throws short. It's caught. And here comes Starks. And Starks is brought down to the 30. And the time will expire. That's how the first half comes to an end. So the Westfield Shamrocks in this Class 6A Regional Championship game will take a 10-0 lead into the locker room at halftime. So we're halfway done here at the Gorsuch Athletic Complex in this Class 6A Regional Title game. Your score at halftime, the Westfield Shamrocks 10 and the Carroll Chargers nothing. We'll come back with more on SummitCitySports.com following this timeout.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach. but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. Watching skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level, catching and shooting, working on ball handling. In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids just able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gorsuch Athletic Complex at Carroll High School in Huntertown. Jim Measel here along with Blake Baker. Our cameraman is Aiden Worth. Aiden has joined us here in the press box now, getting warm. And I would imagine the coffee and hot chocolate concession is doing brisk business right now with the temperatures in the mid-30s.
No doubt.
And the wind being strong as it is right now, going about gusting up to 25 miles an hour. Halftime, the Westfield Shamrocks lead the Carroll Chargers 10-0. Recapping the scoring plays, both of the Shamrock scores came after turnovers. Westfield quarterback Maximus Webster took it in from 3 yards out with 3:46 to go in the first quarter. The extra point attempt by Caleb King was good. 7-0 Westfield after one. The Shamrocks then had a chance to add to their lead early in the second quarter, and King booted a 36-yard field goal to make it a two-possession game right now. That came with 10:49 to go in the first half. And that's it for the scoring. Westfield on top of Carroll, 10-0 here at halftime. And two very costly turnovers, Blake, that the Chargers committed in that first half, which led to the Westfield points.
Yeah, that's really been their only malady on offense. I mean, they've moved it. The running game looks good despite Luke Carmody, a lack of Luke Carmody, really. They haven't really tried any really deep vertical passing until that very last kind of attempt at the end of the half there with the pass to Hafner. But Becker's got a little bit of time back there, but they're doing a lot of quick patterns, a lot of outs from these interior, or the inside receivers, I should say, the slot guys, timing routes. Becker's making things happen with his legs too. It's really just been the story is just that pick on the very first drive and the fumble. And that's really been the difference. Westfield's put 10 points up off of those turnovers, and that's where we currently sit.
Well, the stats, by my count, again, these are unofficial. Westfield with 125 yards on the ground, 54 in the air, 179 total. Carroll with 81 yards on the ground, 62 in the air for 143 yards total. First downs, even. We had both teams with 9 first downs. Penalty yardage, 6 against Westfield for 50 yards, 3 against Carroll for 42 yards. This is the Kelly Automotive Group halftime report. Kelly Automotive Group is Indiana's #1 automotive group with over 1,000 new vehicles and 500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Please visit drivekelly.com. Simple, transparent, and reliable. And we're watching some out-of-town scores here. Blake, if you got that rundown handy, why don't you go ahead and pass those out-of-town scores along?
Yeah, so I think you mentioned East Side moving on. Braebuff up 38-9. Or sorry, they win 38-9. They down Norwell, so Norwell's season ends with a sectional title in 3A. Good season for the Knights there. Andrean East Side is our matchup next week as they beat LaVille 28-0. So that's what we'll see in the semi-state in 2A.
The school that gave us Dan Dawkish.
There you go.
Andrean.
Claim to fame. Eastside is appearing to host that game, so that's where we sit when it comes to that. Adams Central up on their crosstown rival, South Adams. Jets 28, Starfire 0. That's as of 11 minutes ago. Zionsville, as of 18 minutes ago, up 28-14. We'll work on getting an updated version of that score for you. But Dwanger's still playing from behind. If you know nothing else, know that Dwanger's still working from behind down in Zionsville. Tough draw for each of our SAC teams. Both these, Zionsville and Westfield having been to state titles, won state titles within the last 5 years or so. And, that's what you expect, though, in November football is these big swingers, these talented guys you really have to plan for and execute against. And Carroll not doing quite enough of that tonight. Westfield, the one, kind of putting it to them and taking advantage of these opportunities. And that's why we're sitting at a 10-0 deficit for Carroll here on their home turf in the regional.
So congratulations again to the Eastside Blazers. And they're probably celebrating in the Waterloo-Butler area right now. They beat Eastbrook in a battle of unbeatens, 21-14 tonight. The Blazers will take a 13-0 record into the semi-states next week against Andrean, the 59ers. Andrean now at 10-3. Again, your score here at halftime, it's the Westfield Shamrocks 10 and the Carroll Chargers nothing. Let's step aside, and we'll come back and get ready for second half action in just a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then, too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier, too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with Jim Rat's basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November, in addition to the club training he was doing, because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training, just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me, so I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going, and so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. A bunch of skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level. Catching and shooting, working on ball handling. In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids that's able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
I choose to do whole body cryotherapy after practices, games, and training. It reduces inflammation in my muscles and allows me to move more agile throughout my profession. I became a believer in iCryo after my severe injury in college at Notre Dame, tore my ACL, and I was looking for ways to recover, ways to get back on the field. So I'm thankful for iCryo.
Welcome back to the Gorsuch Athletic Complex at Carroll High School. Jim Measle here, along with Blake Baker. Our cameraman is Aiden Orth. As the Kelly Automotive Group halftime report continues, it's 10-0 Westfield over Carroll here, as the two teams are about ready to come out of their locker rooms to start the second half. We have some updates out of town. The season is over for Dwenger. The Dwenger Saints losing at Zionsville this evening in a regional championship game at 35-14. So Zionsville advances to the 5A semi-states to face either Valparaiso or Michigan City.
And that's the second year in a row they've beat Bishop Dwenger in that exact game.
And Dwenger bows out with a record of 7-5. They had a so-so regular season, but like some other teams that were still alive entering the regional round, they got hot in the postseason. You look at a team like Penn, there's a perennial power. They struggled in the regular season. They were only 6-5 heading into tonight's game against Murrayville. And also we had North Central. They were 6-5 heading into the regionals tonight. North Central in Class 1A. And let's see, we had another final. I think you mentioned Braebuff has beaten Norwell 38. Right. 38-9. So Norwell's season ends at 11-2 in 3A. Well, the local teams are starting to fall like flies here, folks. East Side is through, though, in the Class 2A. They will face Andrean next week. East Side defeated Eastbrook in a matchup of unbeatens 21-14. I know Eastbrook beat New Haven earlier this year. I think that was in week 2. And Andrean defeated LaVille 28-0. So East Side's magical ride continues, and a lot of folks in DeKalb County excited. Casey, you're going to have to wear that T-shirt again. He's going to have to wear that T-shirt again next week, I think. And Adams Central defeated South Adams at Starfire Field, a Class 1A. So Adams Central, the Jets, are through to the 1A semi-states. The Chargers coming back on to the field. We mentioned at the start that their leading receiver, Jamison Coverstone, is out tonight. And something is maybe amiss concerning Luke Carmody, who was averaging over 6 yards a carry entering this ball game, over 800 yards rushing for the year. We saw him in the first series, but not since then, as Nathan Starks, a freshman, has done a really nice job filling in. Starks 34 yards on 11 carries, but you get into the month of November, the injuries start to pile up, Blake, next man up, I guess.
Well, and what's been really good for a guy like Nathan Starks especially is they've had a lot of these, you've seen them, they've had some blowout wins, right? So you get some of these down the line guys, some actual real playing experience, and then in a moment like this where a freshman, Nate Starks, has got to hop up and beat the guy. It's not like his very first time playing under these lights, playing on a Friday night. He's got a little bit of experience. This is just a confident team overall with a ton of playmakers around him. And he doesn't have to do it all by himself. Jeff Becker's the one back there making decisions, maybe adjusting him a little bit, giving him feedback. In the offensive minds of Andy Papagiannis and Doug Dinan. Those guys are meshing well. I know that, even a guy like Starks that just hops in as a freshman can pick things up pretty easily. It's a cohesive unit. I think we're going to see a lot more from them. We've seen the aggression. We just haven't seen them put it all together yet. And in a minute and 20 seconds, when the second half starts, they'll start on defense, Carroll, but that offense, I think, will have some adjustments made. I think we're going to see a tight finish here down the line.
Well, we started at 8 o'clock Eastern. We started an hour later than normal. Normally we kick at 7 o'clock. We kicked at 8 tonight, and Westfield had to come a long way from their home base in Hamilton County. And it'll be after midnight before they get back home. But obviously tomorrow's Saturday, so they can sleep in tomorrow. And one of these teams is 24 minutes away from the semi-states. Carroll's trying to win their first regional championship in school history. Westfield trying to win their 6th regional title and their 2nd straight. Carroll has to tighten things up offensively. They can't turn the ball over. Defensively, they've done a nice job after that first drive for Westfield. But entering this ball game, Carroll had only fumbled the ball away 5 times, have thrown 8 interceptions. Their defense had accounted for 14 interceptions and 10 fumble recoveries. So they were plus 11 entering this ball game. They're minus 2 right now.
Well, and something else that the turnover margin can do is help you in the field position battle, which they are most certainly losing. And I don't even think it's, the turnover margin doesn't help with that, but they are probably losing that battle as well in terms of their average starting field position, and that sometimes can determine what exactly you call, when exactly you call it, and they're super aggressive. That's a buzzword we've used a lot, but sometimes just those deep balls getting away from them or end up in the hands of Trayvon Hatchett. Sometimes you drop back to pass with a little bit, expecting a little bit too much time, and results in another turnover there. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot going on this Carroll offense. The turnovers certainly aren't helping the cause with everything, but if that's all you gotta fix and kind of continue everything else, guys like Jeff Becker, who are reliable as anybody else you might watch out here on a Friday night, I think they can get things figured out.
All right, we're ready to start the second half. Carroll has some catching up to do. It's a rarity when they're trailing at halftime at home. Evan Jester ready to kick off, get the second half underway. Westfield on top 10-0. in a battle of teams who are both 10-1. Both teams have won 10 straight after losing their opening games of the season. And just as we get ready to start the second half, the wind blows the ball off the tee. And so now it will have to be held.
Well, there's no trees around, really. The flag's out there, but that's really your only indicator of how hard that wind is blowing. And I guess that's a good indicator there for all the folks at home about how windy it really is here tonight.
What a change from last Friday when we were over at Northridge. It was a beautiful night, no wind whatsoever. And the second half is underway. Big kick by Jester into the end zone. That'll be an automatic touchback. Boy, has that kid got a leg or what?
Oh, he's done that all season long. This is a kicking unit in terms of your place kicker, who I believe is, I'm going to get it 100%, Sebastian Lopez. He's a junior, and then you mix him with Jester, who's the punter, who's the kickoff guy. They got some real strong legs over there. And in a game that's 10-0, well within reach here, that could be a very important factor as we go along.
It was Adams Central 41-0 over South Adams. They've gone to a running clock. They got about 2.5 minutes to go, and that game is just about done. So Adams Central not only getting a regional championship, but bragging rights in Adams County.
Yeah, in dominating fashion.
Little snap from center. They'll run it on the first play from scrimmage to start the second half, and Hauser busts free for about a 7-yard gain off the left side. That gives him 79 yards on 11 carries tonight. He's the game's leading rusher.
And just one of those little counter plays, almost like a tag play or a tap play, where you pull the tackle and guard, or the Y, maybe even a yat play where you pull that tight end around as well. But good job, just hesitation by Hauser and following his guys up for a good gain.
He's getting close to 1,000 yards rushing for the season. He's got the ball again. He's going to get a first down, broke a tackle, and got up to the 32-yard line, give him 6 more yards. I got a feeling with the wind and Westfield in the lead, Hauser is going to get a lot of touches here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Plus all the aspects that you just mentioned. He's just kind of that quick little burst. And, Jackway's a big dude, number 16 in blue there, who missed that tackle. He's strong. I mean, he's not missing a whole lot of tackles like that at the line of scrimmage. But Hauser with the explosion, he's lower than Jackway. And, they're trying to rip that ball out as well. I think that maybe resulted in a few extra yards. But first down nonetheless, Hauser, I think, is going to get some work.
He had 894 yards rushing for the season entering this game. Webster faked a handoff, got away after he was almost brought down to the backfield. Missed tackles now, Blake.
Yeah, that's tough because you snuffed that one out, right? I mean, it looked like it could have gone somewhere. They ran a very similar play, that yat play, I guess, where you pull that tight end around, you pull a tackle with him. But that time Webster made the fake, and Carroll snuffed it out, just missed the tackle in the backfield. You hate to see that for them. 7-yard gain, that's a 9-yard swing, and now they're approaching midfield once again. Webster really making it happen, making these decisions, and making his offense go.
2nd and 3, play action fake. Webster will throw. He wants it all, and it is caught at the 25-yard line. And finally, their passing game hits a big play, and that was Ian Bruch with the reception.
And this is. We've seen glimpses of this, right? They've had guys open downfield. They've had the touch passes just a foot out of bounds, but a beautiful ball. I mean, right in the breadbasket there. Brook didn't have to do anything at all.
38 yards from that pickup. There goes Hauser, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line. It's a final now. Adams Central has beaten South Adams 41-0.
Yeah, I think they did get a hold of Tucker Steely there. When the lineman throws his hands up mid-play, it's normally not a good sign, but that time he got away with it.
So now 2nd down and 11 for Westfield. The ball's at the Carroll 25-yard line. Boy, a score here for Westfield would really put them in a great spot. Hauser up the middle, chucking his way down to the 21-yard line. 4 more yards for Hauser. That gives him 89 for the night. And the clock is running. We're down to 9:12 to go in the 3rd quarter. Carroll's defense has to make a stand right now. 10-0 favor Westfield. 3rd and 6 for the Shamrocks. Line the gain is to 15. They check off. They go look at the bench. Play clock down to 8, 7, 6.
Taking their time.
Using as much time as they can. Webster rolling out, throws on the run. Got a man. First down, broken tackle. Yards after the catch. Aaron Bolus with the catch. 13 more yards and a first down for Westfield. First and goal.
Yeah, good job by Webster working through this one. I think he was set on a Ramblus there. He's the one that kind of settled in that soft zone behind Dylan Bennett in coverage. But the putting Webster on the run, he's shown a little bit of ability to scramble out and make something happen too. Putting him on the run maybe freezes those backers just enough to make a good play.
First and goal. Hauser up the middle to the 5. Hauser is stuffed right there. Westfield looking to perhaps deliver a knockout punch here. They get the touchdown to the extra point. That'll be a 3-possession game, and that will really make things tough for Carroll.
Especially with this clock rolling now. We're under 8 minutes to play. They've made this drive not only successful in the yardage gained and the pressure they're putting on this defense, but in some time as well, eating up almost a quarter of this quarter so far.
It's at the 4, second and goal. Hauser gets the handoff, breaks a tackle to the goal line. Give that man 6 points. Touchdown, Westfield. A very impressive drive for the Shamrocks and a lot of broken tackles by the Carroll defense.
No doubt, and it's against guys like Hauser, just a short, shifty guy. He's got some power to him. I don't know how many they missed on him throughout the drive there, but it kind of added up. And there's Hauser, the reliable one, the guy they're going to continue giving that ball to.
No, that's
He's the one punching it in.
I'm sorry, Blake. That's his 19th rushing touchdown this season.
Man.
He leads the team in touchdowns with 22 now. Caleb King is on to try the extra point, and this will make it a 3-possession game, so this is an important PAT. High snap. Kick is up. And hang on, a whistle here. And what is this all about? The extra point attempt, they say, is no good. All right, so it remains a 2-possession game. 16-0 Westfield. We'll step aside. We'll come back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
Westfield starting drive summary, 9 plays, traveled 80 yards, and the time was 4 minutes.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced
good yardage on first down, as it was Starks. He's done a really nice job running the football tonight for Carroll. 8 yards for Starks. It gets him 42 yards on 12 carries. No huddle for Carroll. On 2nd and 2 from their 25. It Starks again. He's going to get the first down. Nice job by the offensive line, giving Starks room to rumble, and he picks up 5 yards. First down, Carroll. That's their 10th unofficially. First down for the Chargers, out to the 30-yard line. We come down to 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Westfield 16, Carroll nothing. Becker to the air on first down. He's got a man. And close to another first down. The reception made by Hirschberger, Camden Hirschberger, a junior, 6'2", 190 pounds. And Carroll's putting something together here. They're out to their 40-yard line.
As just when they need it.
This is the Charger offense we've seen this year in 2021. 3 receivers to the right. Becker fakes the handoff, calls his own number, gets the corner, and gets more good yardage. Gets dumped to the Carroll bench, but he got 8 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2. Long way to go yet. This game is not over, folks. Boy, if Carroll scores here, you wonder if they'll go for 2. Remember, it's a 2-possession game. 2nd down and 1 for the 49. 2 receivers on each side. Fumble! And Becker has to cover up on it at the 47-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Boy, it could have been a situation turned into an uphill battle into a disaster if he would have lost that one there. But getting right back on it was Becker. Didn't lose too many. It's still 3rd and 3. Big down.
Line the gain is the 50. 3 receivers to the right. 1 to the near side. Movement on both sides. Flags all over the place. Clock is stopped with 6:19 to go third quarter. And a false start on Carroll. Ugh. That'll make it 3rd and 8. Self-inflicted mistakes. So on 2nd and 1, he had a fumble. He lost 2 yards, and now a false start makes it 3rd and 8. Again, the line to gain is the midfield stripe. 2 receivers on each side for the Chargers. They trail 16-0. And Becker has time, fires, got a man. First down at the 40-yard line. Reception made by Hirschberger. 18 yards and a Carroll first down.
Here they are having these young guys step up. Starks, the freshman in the backfield. That time Hirschberger also been involved in the offense a good amount this year. Blowouts and not. He's showing up on this drive.
Just over 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. That pass is caught. 5-yard pickup. Hafner with the reception. And Carroll with a nice drive being put together here. They've moved the ball to the Westfield 35. 2nd down and 5. Chargers trying to get back into the ball game. Down 16-0. On 2nd and 5, it's Starks. And Starks is going to be pulled down, but he got away. But he's going to be stopped now behind the line of scrimmage at the 36. And there's that man again, Hauser, in on the stop.
Yeah, and that was kind of set up. I think that was definitely a read on Becker's part there, but into the boundary, these swarming D linemen and linebackers coming at him, it kind of made it an impossible position for Becker.
Line the gain is the 30 on 3rd and 6. Becker's got time. Throws one deep down the far side. Got a man out there. It's caught at the goal line. Give that man 6 points. Aiden lays off, and Neon Nation erupts.
Well, here's that big playability we're looking for, and it's the senior, reliable man, A.J. Lazoff. The beautiful over-the-shoulder pass and the extra effort by Lazoff would not be denied. Beautiful play. That's him coming out of that wing position, and that trips. Or at least that interior slot man. He's dangerous from that position.
Now it looks like Carroll will go for 2. Remember the missed extra point. That could be big as we work our way through the rest of this evening. 5:27 to go. That's a 36-yard touchdown pass. Becker to Aiden Lazoff, his 5th touchdown reception of the season. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the near side. Becker rolling and stops. He throws. Back of the end zone, caught. 2 points. Give that man 2 points. Hafner with the reception. And the score now, 16-8, favor Westfield. We'll step aside. We're back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
5:27 to go in the third quarter, and the Carroll Chargers have gotten back into the ball game. They have responded to Westfield's touchdown drive to start the second half. Only took the Chargers just over 2 minutes as they used their hurry-up offense to matriculate the ball down the field. They started inside their 20 following a penalty on the kickoff. 36-yard touchdown pass. The kick is into the end zone and out. Jester does it again, and Westfield has to start at their own 20-yard line. 36 yards. Becker to Lazoff. on the touchdown pass for Becker. That was his 23rd touchdown pass of the season. Now over 1,300 yards passing. He's passed for 131 tonight. So actually, he's over 1,400 yards in passing for the season.
Let's check out that touchdown one more time. Yeah, just reading that side of the field as Becker knew exactly what Lazov was going to do. The tendencies and how well these guys know each other, and just that good outside move, the extra effort. Excellent play overall by Lazov, and just a veteran play by Becker to get 2 as well.
On first down, the Chargers looking to get a 3 and out. Hauser stopped for no gain. In fact, he may have lost a half a yard. Now let's see if the Shamrocks can respond, as they've been bruised for the first time tonight. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Westfield 16, Carroll 8. And boy, this place erupted when Becker and Lansoff connected on that touchdown pass. On second down, play action fake. Webster's got time. He throws. He's got a man. And looking for the first down. And down the near side. He stays in bounds. This could be it is a big play for Westfield. Aaron Bolus, the freshman, making a big play. He rumbles all the way down to the Carroll 20-yard line.
Just a bullet by Webster, but yeah, Arambulis is the one that really made that whole thing happen. Just slipped a couple guys, got a good block from one of his receivers, and he's shifty. I mean, he's making these guys get turned all around, get twisted up. And this is a good secondary for Carroll. These guys are good tacklers. They're physical guys, and you know when they get out in the open space, some of these Westfield skill guys are really testing them, and they have all night. Arambulis, a freshman, we keep mentioning it, but impressive the way he's been able to be one of these targets for Webster, who's obviously a seasoned vet, a guy who knows this offense, and Arambulis being a big part of this offense and how it's moving up and down the field right now.
He's not playing like a freshman.
No.
3 receivers to the left, and here's Hauser stacked up and drives the pile to the 17-yard line. Boy, what a big play that was. That was a silencer right there. I was a little bit hesitant. I thought Arambulis had stepped out of bounds here on the near side, but he stayed in. And that was a 60-yard game right there. You talk about a flipping field position.
Yeah, and momentum. I mean, flipping some of the – we got this to a one-score game, did Carroll, and the crowd started to get into it until that Arambulis play.
2nd and 7. Webster calls his own number inside the 15. He is stopped short of the first down at about the 12, maybe the 11.
Pulled that left guard around, and Webster doing a good job kind of letting that one get strung out to the right just a little bit, cutting back up off the butt of that left guard. Good play call there. I like Webster in this run game. He and Becker both been very effective, not just tonight, but all season. I mean, 600 extra yards in the passing game for Webster. That's definitely where he's made his bread and butter, how he's become a Ball State commit. But in the running game tonight is where he's made, I think, some really critical plays.
On 3rd and 1, it's a running play, and they moved the pile. Hatchett got the first down. He needed 1, and he got about 3 or 4. First down, Westfield, and it's amazing how the noise here just abated after that 60-yard pass play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy how quick the air can come out of a balloon like that. And Westfield, a team that can really score. I mean, during that 10-game win streak, not quite the margin of victory that Carroll's had, but the point totals for sure.
1st and goal, they'll run it, and they move the pile to the 5. Hatchett again carried the ball. Going to bring up 2nd and goal for Westfield. Somehow, the Chargers have to keep the Shamrocks out of the end zone.
Here we are, under 3 minutes to play in this quarter here. I'd like to know the exacts on time of possession here in the quarter, because Westfield is dominating that in the second half so far.
2nd and goal from the 5.
And again, no Hauser. They're sticking with Hatchett back there.
Hauser may be getting a rest. He goes both ways.
Here they are with the speed option again.
Oh, yes. And it's Hatchett looking for the end zone. He's got it. Give that man 6 points. Trayvon Hatchett, his 8th touchdown of the season. And Westfield responds. A 60-yard pass play, setting up that touchdown.
Second time they've employed that. You know, with quarterbacks who have that threat to run, who are good decision makers, good job at feeling the defense and what the defense gives them, are perfect, utility guys down here in the red zone in that option game. There's the second time they've run it tonight to perfection, 2 touchdowns out of it. Here's Caleb King on for the extra point.
Yeah, rare miss for King on the PAT on the previous touchdown. Spotted, booted, and did he sneak it in? He did. He snuck it inside the left upright. So we have a timeout of the field. 23-8 now is your score. Westfield over Carroll. Back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Welcome back to the Gorsuch Athletic Complex. Jim Meso and Blake Baker with you. Aiden Orth on the camera. 23-8. Westfield has rebuilt their lead. It's now at 15, still a 2-possession game. Carroll has scored and got a 2-point conversion. Neon Nation was going crazy, but then Westfield hit a 60-yard pass play and eventually scored. And the kickoff is returned to the 26-yard line. That's where Carroll will take over. The kick returned by Valdez. 2:25 to go in the third quarter, and Carroll down 15, 23-8.
And I want to take a look at, on the Traction AP replay here, just Jeff Becker's patience here. And this is a veteran play on the 2-point conversion. His last play out, just letting everything develop, trusting his receivers to be exactly where they need to be, and delivering a strike in between 2 guys. That drive for Carroll on their last possession was exactly what they needed in this game to establish some explosive plays, and here's a good follow-up for them, hopefully.
On first down, a running play that will not work.
No, nowhere going that time. Still seeing Starks. We haven't seen a lot of Carmody. You mentioned you saw him on the sideline. I haven't really seen him out here, too. He's an emotional leader for this offense, too. Not only is he a guy that can really tote the rock and get you positive yards, he's one of the hearts of their offense.
Well, he's down here in uniform, but he does not have his helmet on here on the sideline. Here's a quick pass to the right flat, and a little yardage on that one. Westfield's defense getting the job done as the pass was completed to Rudolph, but only a couple of yards on the pickup.
Yeah, not set up for a ton of success on the missed block there. Number 22 in white, that is Micah Hauser. Common familiar name we've called out a lot. He's making the play there, slipping a block and resulting in maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain for Rudolph, but 3rd and 10 here for Carroll, big down.
Line the gain is the 36 for the Chargers. Becker to the air. He's got time. He fires. He's got a man open at the 40-yard line. And a big hit, but hanging on to the ball is Gabriel Starks. And that'll be a gain of 15 yards. First down, Chargers.
And yeah, here's Becker again, kind of letting things develop, knowing exactly where those defenders are, and a good job by Starks holding on to it after the good delivery.
And it Starks off the right side. He's got running room. And he fumbles the ball. And Westfield has recovered.
They at least are saying they do.
Yeah, they are saying they recovered. The officials have made no indication yet. I thought they got it, and apparently they did not. Wow. Wow. Man, it looked like 56, Jonathan Scott, made the fumble recovery for Carroll.
Yeah, good job it was Tyler Wiresman, number 59, and as the lead block. But yeah, Jonathan Scott really the one maybe saving the day there on the Starks fumble. Starks had a good head of steam really lowered his shoulder too, but in the process lost the ball. That also could have been disastrous, putting the ball on the carpet there.
That might have been good night, nurse.
Yeah.
Flag comes in as the ball is snapped on 2nd and 2. Clock is stopped with 35 seconds to go in the third quarter, and a penalty against the Chargers. This will push him back 5 yards to make it 2nd and 7. Oh, delay of game. I'm sorry. Delay of game against the Chargers. So, 6 penalties for 62 yards now against the Chargers. Westfield's been penalized 6 times for 50 yards. 12 penalties in this game. Well,
yeah, not the cleanest game we've seen all year.
There's your dirty dozen right there. 2nd and 7 from the 44. Becker throws, and he's got a man again inside the 40 to the 37. Reception made by Gabriel Starks. Move the sticks. First down, Carroll.
Traction AP replay will show you just a beautiful back shoulder pass. I mean, that's a great job of knowing where that safety is, maybe even the tendencies of some of these deep defensive backs, and delivering it where nobody but his guy could get it. Awesome job by Becker, and Carroll's on the move.
Becker is red hot now. He's passed for 169 yards. He throws again. Got a man at the 30-yard line. Starks took a hit. And the clock is stopped with 7 seconds to go as we had a penalty flag down.
Well, Becker takes a hit, too. I mean, watch him standing here in the face of pressure. That's the guy who forced the fumble on him last time, and I think that's 3 straight targets to Starks, and that's 3 straight conversions pending this penalty flag, of course.
I've got Becker completing his last 9 passes. Personal foul, roughing the passer on Westfield. That will give a first down to the Chargers with 7.8 to go, and the Shamrocks guilty of a self-inflicted mistake.
Yeah, I think that was Evan Cannon, the same number 38, forcing that fumble earlier. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just going to say 7 penalties against Westfield for 65 yards.
We're also at 7 seconds left in the quarter, so this play from inside the red zone, Carroll's first snap inside the red zone tonight, will very likely be the final play of this third quarter. And a positive play could really go a long way for Carroll here. But they've established some good momentum going into this fourth quarter. It'd be nice to cap it off with a score here. Almost need to.
A touchdown and a conversion will get it back to a 1-possession game. The deficit for the Chargers right now is 15 points, 23-8. Favor Westfield. And they'll run it. Starks off the right side. And he is met and driven back. No gain. And that's how the third quarter will come to an end. After 3, Westfield 23, Carroll 8. Back with the fourth quarter in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. Bunch of skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level. Catching and shooting, working on ball handling. In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids that's able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
Welcome back, everybody. No, there's nothing wrong with your computer or your iPad. Just a little light show action here in between quarters at Carroll.
All of the lights.
As we start the fourth quarter, Carroll trails 23-8, but they have the ball in the Westfield Shamrock red zone. The ball is at the Westfield 15. Second down and 10 for Carroll. Chargers must score in this possession. They need a touchdown and a conversion to get it back to a 1-possession game. And Becker will run. Becker is brought down at the 14-yard line. Only 1 yard on that pickup. And there's that outstanding linebacker, Tyler Dykels, making the tackle for Westfield. Wow, 114 tackles for the season entering this game.
Yeah, one of their linebackers doing a good job, kind of spying on Becker at that point. That's what the running ability of a guy like Jeff Becker kind of forces your defense to do. And that time, Dykos with a good execution. I mean, it's tough when Becker's got to make a split-second decision like that, decides to run, but because they're in the red zone, everybody's so close to that line of scrimmage, you can't really go anywhere.
3rd and 8, line the game's to 5. Becker looking for a receiver, still looking, running out of time, and now he's down at the 25-yard line. He got away from one guy, but the turf monster got him, and that's a big loss. Back to the 25-yard line, a loss of 12.
And they wanted this little rub route at the top. You'll see Hafner kind of get out there, and he has a split second. Had him for a split second, I should say, but Becker trying to make all his reads. Actually had him again trying to look back, but by then the pressure got to him. That's just Becker's good at being elusive, but trying to do a little bit too much on, no fault of his own. That pressure got to him trying to roll around, but yeah, maybe the turf monster is a good way to describe that. Now very, very important 4th down at 25 through the goal line.
4th and 20, line the game's to 5. Becker looking, throwing in the double coverage. Flag comes in. The Chargers making a break here. Looks like pass interference. We'll check out the call. Yep, interference on Westfield.
Let's take another look. Traction AP replay. I think that was Lazoff they wanted over the middle. Good job dancing around once again. Maybe not the exact throw that Becker or some of his offensive play callers want him to make in a double coverage there, but good job kind of scrambling. Once again, extending these plays. Maybe that's the best thing that Becker does, is extending these plays, as you see the white-hatted man call officially the pass interference to keep Carroll's offense out there after a 4th down play. But, I think that's Becker's best asset is being able to extend those plays, and that's been on display tonight. It hasn't always resulted in exactly what they've wanted, but on a 4th and 8 here, you're going to have to get something.
In high school football, that is not an automatic 1st down. So 4th and 8 now for Carroll. Line the gain is to 5. The ball's at the Westfield 13. Bit of a low snap. Becker scrambling to his left, looking, throwing into the end zone, and it's out of the end zone. The ball was intercepted, but the defender was well beyond the boundary, but it doesn't matter. Westfield will take over on downs at their own 13-yard line with 10:18 to go in the game.
Here's Becker doing great job just avoiding Popeye Williams. I mean, an awesome move, a little stutter step around Jake Rust, but just trying to force something he had to on 4th down, put it kind of where his guy or no guy could get it, and it ended up being no guy. And now turnover on downs. A big stop for this Westfield defense. Now 10:18 left to play. They're up by 15, and they've shown a lot of capability to get down the field. I think they've got multiple, 75, 80-plus yard drives tonight, so it's, nothing they can't handle in terms of getting down the field. This Carroll defense is going to have to rise to the occasion. A defense with, coming off of 2 straight shutouts in meaningful games. This is quite possibly their, I'll say it, most important defensive possession all season.
Hauser around the right end, gets the corner, and is cut down close to a 1st down. Aaron Stewart made the tackle for Carroll, and they're going to put him down, it looks like, at the 22, so give him 9 more yards. And that puts him over 100 yards for the night. We got him at 108, and that puts him over 1,000 yards for the season.
There you go. He was a top 50 All-State guy last year as a junior. I don't expect anything different for him. A couple of his offensive co-playmakers out there have got some, bigger time Division I offers. He's right there in the mix talent-wise.
2nd down and 1 for Westfield. Hauser will be given a steady dive to the rock now, and why not? He got 6 more yards there. Moved the sticks. Fresh set of downs for Westfield. Right now with 10:01 to go in regulation. Westfield on top 23-8. And they just want to try and shorten the game up as much as possible.
That's right. And that time was a little read play. Maddox Flaw, number 12 in blue, crashing down. But, they like to blitz these guys. You see Tucker Steele is going to be doing a similar thing out there on the other side of that Carroll defensive line. But the read plays kind of take them out of the equation.
Play action. They're going to throw it here. Webster wants it all and overthrew his receiver, and that stops the clock.
Yeah, maybe you scratch your head at that because it does stop the clock, but look at the step that Wasserstrom had. Not been targeted too much tonight, but Webster likes him on the deep ball, and he had him just a few steps past Aaron Stewart there. I actually saw something earlier this week when I was doing my research that JoJo Johnson, who is at Merrillville, met Westfield here in the semi-state last season, said that the most talented player he played against in high school was Jackson Wasserstrom, and we haven't even seen a whole lot from him tonight. It's really been the Micah Hauser show. You got Gabe Arambulis making plays as well.
On second down, they run it. Hauser. Look at him carry the pile. That's some hard running there. 7 yards. That'll bring up third down and 3. And it looks like we're going to get a Maryville-Westfield rematch in the semi-states next week if the Shamrocks hold on here, because Maryville has already defeated Penn.
Yeah, and that'll be we talk about the talent here. JoJo Johnson, he's at Notre Dame right now. Maryville, another school with some big-time guys going on. Maximus Webster and company. On the other end, they're trying to preserve this one right now. 3rd and 3, converting this one would go a whole long way, as now we're under 9 minutes to play, and Carroll has got to get off the field right here.
Line the gain is to 38. And Webster calls his own number. Got the first down. Fresh set of downs for the Shamrocks. Webster forced out of bounds. That stops the clock with 8:35 to go in regulation. But they'll get a chance to take 2, maybe 3 more minutes off the clock.
And one thing I like about these, not only are these running backs so explosive and, guys that'll get you these critical yards, they're fast, they make, the right reads in the running game, but they're willing to throw a block for their quarterback. Their quarterback likes to run that ball too. Good job calling his own number there, but if Micah Hauser doesn't get up there in the mix, or, earlier in the game, Trayvon Hatchett doesn't go and throw some blocks, might not be the same result for Webster.
On first down, Webster throws, and it's dropped, and that stops the clock again.
But again, it was there. Again, they had it, just this little pop pass. You're going to see a nice little flash fake, and they got everybody to bite up, just sneaking past. I think it was Ethan Beaupre is number 1 there, a talented corner. Doesn't have his eyes in the backfield all that often, but like you said, it's kind of maybe surprising they're throwing that ball, but they had it. Number 28. Micaiah Webster.
A freshman.
He's a tight end. Doing a good little wide dump pop pass right there, but just falls through his hands. They had it, though.
2nd and 10 now for Westfield at their own 42. That incomplete pass stopped the clock with 8:33 left in regulation. Shamrocks ahead at 23-8. And there goes Hauser around the corner. And did he stay in bounds? Apparently he did. Got about 4 yards. Now they stop the clock with 8:25 to go. Apparently he did not stay in bounds. He got 4 yards.
Mark Murray coming out of the game for Carroll, number 52 in blue. Haven't said his name a whole lot tonight, and maybe these guys with their hands in the dirt don't make all the tackles. That's not quite their job. A guy like Mark Murray job is to eat up space in the middle there and demand double teams. And tonight, this Westfield line's done a good job of kind of stifling him, keeping him stymied, getting to the second level, and getting running lanes for Hauser. That's been the recipe for success here in the running game.
Line the gain is to Carroll, 48. Webster throws. He's got a man.
Delay of game.
Oh, delay of game. Oh, wow.
That play clock, yeah. I was talking so long, we didn't get a chance to say that the play clock was at 0. And the refs caught that just in time. But that could have been a whole lot worse for Carroll.
So this will make it 3rd and 11.
They've run close to that clock a few different times. Well, and they're doing a good job of that flash fake, and you're expecting the run obviously, but they're getting these guys downfield just over the middle. It's nothing crazy, maybe just a little bit of hesitation, a fake of a run block, and just slip past them. Webster could put it on target.
In 2A, it was Evansville Modern Day over Triton Central, 35-7 down south. Again, and also in 5A, New Albany beat Bloomington South 33-14. Here's a pass caught, and they're going to get the first down. You believe that? And he's still going. Rambulis. A big play in the passing game for Westfield.
And watch him later on. This is, I like the instincts here and just the knowledge of exactly what you're supposed to do. Rambulis, a freshman, instead of stepping out of bounds there, avoiding a big hit from Dylan Bennett, just slips inside of him. Now, eventually gets out of bounds and stops the clock, but that was more so, I think he was, kind of had to. He didn't really have a choice there trying to run up the sideline. But I love the awareness. I love him being able to shake free. He's had an awesome game. He's had a good postseason and kind of capping it off here as Westfield seeks another regional title.
Well, if he's a freshman, he probably can't drive a car yet.
Nope. But this offense is driving because of him.
Well, Westfield's calling a timeout here. They're moving the ball, but they're not moving the clock a whole lot. And we'll keep it here. 8 minutes and 12 seconds to go in regulation. We'll mention some of our sponsors. Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Like their Facebook pages for updated promotions. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. Kelly Automotive Group is Indiana's #1 automotive group with over 1,000 new vehicles and 500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Please visit drivekelly.com. Simple, transparent, and reliable. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They'll help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more. All right, we got first down now for Westfield. First down at the Carroll 33-yard line. Westfield on top, 23-8. They led 10-0 at halftime. They took advantage of 2 turnovers by Carroll in the first half to get their 10 points before halftime. First and 10 for the Shamrocks at the Carroll 33. 8:12 left in regulation. Hauser off the right side. Cuts it back to the inside. Stays in bounds. Keeps the clock moving. Picks up 8-9 yards, and he continues to get chunky yardage.
Yeah, and they're running it into the boundary, which is interesting when you're trying to keep that clock rolling, but I think it's because they like pulling all these guys around. You see big number 55 in white. That would be Alex Ashley. And you see number 62 doing the same thing. That's Aiden Roberts. Big Zach Williams, number 65, doing the same thing. They like those guys pulling. You get all 3 of them into the boundary. Even if you're trying to stay in bounds, you still get a lot of room to work with those guys leading the way.
2nd and 1. Webster wants to throw. Now scrambles and throws the ball. He's got a man open. He catches it in bounds at the 5, and he's out of bounds near the pylon. It'll be 1st and goal for Westfield.
And here's Webster once again into the boundary, just staying there. Good protection. I mean, we're not seeing a whole lot of pass rush and get lofted passes like that find the hands of guys like Nick DePasquale. Good job by Webster. Maybe a little bit too much loft on that pass, but again, didn't really matter. He was wide open.
1st and goal. And looking for the end zone is Hatchett. Did he get there?
He's just short.
No. 2nd and goal. And the Shamrocks on the verge of delivering the knockout punch now.
So Arambulis coming out. So they're trading a receiver for number 28, Micaiah Webster, who is listed as a tight end. So trade a freshman for a freshman with Arambulis coming out and Webster coming in. Now Maximus Webster with 2 other guys in the backfield takes a 2nd down snap.
And it is a handoff up the middle. Hatchett, give that man 6 points. Touchdown Westfield. And that is pretty much good night nurse right there. Hatchett with his 2nd short touchdown of the game.
And we'll check it out on the Traction AP replay. Just throwing some good blocks. Didn't have a whole, not too much push, I guess, from that front 5 on the Westfield side, but enough for Hatchett to get his head of steam and pick up a yard that was needed. 6 more points, 29-8 right now, Westfield, and pending this Caleb King extra point.
He was 46 of 47 on PATs entering this game. He missed one earlier. That one is good. And we have a timeout on the field. Westfield 30, Carroll 8. We're back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Welcome back, everybody. 6:44 to go, and the Westfield Shamrocks in control, leading the Carroll Chargers 30-8. Last week, Westfield needed a last-second field goal to survive and advance as they defeated Hamilton Southeastern 24-22. It does not appear that they will need any sort of last-second perils of Pauline-like dramatics this week.
No, this is their ninth game this season scoring 30 points or more, so this Rocks offense still rolling.
Can you smell what the Rocks are cooking? I had to get that line in once tonight. Here's the kickoff, return to the 30-yard line. Dylan Bennett returning the kick. So the Chargers down 22 with 6:38 to go. They got to get a touchdown, get a conversion, get an onside kick, get another touchdown, get another conversion, get an onside kick, get another touchdown, get a 2-point conversion, all 6:38.
Is that it?
That's it.
You know, Carroll's offense has shown some explosive ability this whole season. It's, you know, without guys like Coverstone, Carmody maybe not supplying some breathers here. It's just not the same. It's not been the same tonight.
3 receivers to the left. And the pass is incomplete.
Nearly picked off by Dykos. He's been all over the place tonight, the junior. Yeah, that would have, if it's not on ice already, that would have certainly put it on ice.
Becker has passed for 176 yards tonight. We got Webster unofficially with 219 yards passing. Actually 221 as I look at my notes again. But what's a couple of yards between friends? 2nd and 10, low snap. Becker will run. He's to the 45. He's to the 48-yard line, maybe the 49, a 9-yard. Check that 39-yard line. A pickup of 9 yards.
Just a good job making something out of nothing. That's how he's kind of made his career here. Taking that low snap, turning it into a 10-yard gain. Quick decision making. That's what Jeff Becker's specialty is.
On 3rd and 1, Becker throws, and he's got a man. Oh, what a hit. We've seen some hard hits in this game. Rudolph made the catch and hung on after the big pop. That's a pickup of 18 yards and a first down for Carroll.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that for Rudolph there that he took that big hit, but that was right where Becker needed to put it for that one to be converted. And once again, they got the empty set. They're going to obviously elect to pass, but Becker's shown a good arm so far and consistency in getting it where it needs to go.
Movement before the snap and false start against Carroll. That'll be their 7th penalty for 67 yards. 83 yards of penalties against Westfield. They've been flagged 9 times. 6:01 to go in regulation. Westfield leading 30-8. Zwenger lost earlier. So unless Carroll can put together a miracle rally here in the final 6:01, the Summit Athletic Conference will be done after tonight.
And just like Carroll normally does, tonight they're rushing 5 traditionally, but Westfield only got 3 guys rushing, still getting some pressure. Not too consistent, but it's disruptive.
On 1st and 15, Becker's pass is caught, at the 40-yard line. The reception made by Cameron Hirschberger. He's had a big second half.
And here he is, Becker, once again looking that way to the trip side. Sidestepping a rusher and delivering a good ball. It's kind of deja vu, seeing that a whole bunch tonight. And once again, now they're back in Westfield territory driving. He's got a back in the backfield this time, though.
2nd and 7 from the Westfield 40. Play action fake. Becker pumps, under pressure, throws one to the 20, and it's incomplete. Had to get rid of it. Stops the clock with 5:28 left in regulation.
Well, he wanted Hafner here. The 3 of trips. You can see him pumping, and, good job by that safety. It might have been Hatchett coming over top there. They got some talented defensive backs here, does Westfield. We haven't even called out really Dylan Thieneman tonight. He's got a Big Ten offer. Micah Hauser back there too. Some playmakers.
Line the gains to 33 on 3rd and 7. Becker under a rush again, and his pass is incomplete. And he's not getting a whole lot of time to throw right now.
Boy, that was acrobatic, though. I mean, that throw just running for his life almost, falling away, avoiding pressure, and still delivering a pretty catchable ball. I mean, it wouldn't have resulted in too much other than just a positive play, but it sure would have looked good. Jeff Becker's still back there just fighting. I mean, this Carroll team is not going to roll over. Like you said, it would take a whole lot for them to really come out on top in this game, but there's a pride to them that we're seeing right now.
On 4th and 7 from the 40. Becker rolls to his right and throws. It's intercepted. Picked off on the 35-yard line to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, all the way down to the 22-yard line. Tyler Dykels.
Well, he nearly had a pick six earlier this possession, and there's Evan Cannon again, kind of that delayed blitz from his linebacker spot, doing a really good job tonight of disrupting Becker, maybe the main catalyst in that regard in terms of the pass rush that results in turnovers. And I think that some of these Carroll seniors on offense may have seen some of their last meaningful football. See some of these guys getting comforted by coaches, and rightfully so, as the season they put together should not be diminished by anything that happened tonight. Co-SAC champs, 10 straight wins, kind of ran into a buzzsaw that is Westfield here, a state title competitor for the 2nd year in a row. And they'll take over on offense here just outside of the red zone in Carroll territory. But Carroll's got all their playmakers on defense out there still.
Up the middle, there goes Hauser, looking for the end zone, and give that man 6 points. Micah Hauser to the house. And that makes it 36-8 with 5:04 left in regulation.
And Traction AP replay just kind of cuts up in there. Yeah, number 67 in white. That is Reed Askren. Did a good job getting to the second level and allowing Hauser just, not too much push from Askren there, but just getting the hands on a linebacker delays what he can do, makes him hesitate, makes him have to get off the block and still read the play, make a tackle, and Hauser's just too fast for that. He's going to find it for 6. That's exactly what happened. Now we're sitting at 36-8 as Caleb King lining up for this PAT.
And it's spotted, it's booted, it's in that direction, and the kick is good.
I think it was a doink off of that post there, but it did go through.
It shows you everything's going Westfield's way right now.
They are getting the bounces.
And we'll step aside, 37-8, Westfield. Back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
Here at Always 100, we have different things that we provide each week with our elite training, working on things that can help them get a scholarship in the future if they don't have one right now. Watch the skill development, helping kids get better, understanding what it takes to get to the next level. Catching and shooting, working on ball handling. In the last 5 years, we had over 200 kids that's able to play basketball at some places from the NAIA, Division III, Division II, or Division I level.
Welcome back, everybody. 5:04 to go in regulation. The Westfield Shamrocks have broken this game wide open with a couple of fourth quarter touchdowns. They lead now 37-8. And since the Chargers scored their touchdown, the Shamrocks have scored 21 unanswered.
Some long drives here, points off of turnovers. It's Westfield just really getting it done exactly how they need to, exactly the opportunities they're given, taking advantage of. Keeping the ball away from Carroll is another thing. It's not one thing to just take it away from them, but to keep it away from them. These long sustained drives, kind of gut punches with these Micah Hauser runs, and then the deep balls over top that have really connected here in the second half, been the recipe for this big lead so far.
Here's the kick down to about the 7-yard line, up to the 15, the 20, the 25, room down the near side for Valdez. He's out of bounds, short of the 50-yard line of the 48 with 4:56 to go.
And Evan Cannon, the defensive mainstay tonight, just a little bit of a hesitation and not breaking down a whole lot on the tackle, and Valdez taking advantage, just an extra burst, sidestepping a couple arm tackles. Now good field position for Carroll to start. They still got all their starters out there. They're looking to keep moving this ball downfield, and they'll have 4 guys up at the top here, a quad set to the top of your screen, as Becker's still going to air this thing out.
4:56 to go in regulation. Becker on first down, fires, and it's incomplete. Intended for Hirschberger. That brings up 2nd and 10 for the Chargers at their own 48. 4:51 remaining. So Westfield will move on to the semi-states, and they will face Maryville next week. Rematch of a game played last year. On 2nd and 10, Becker looking, throwing, got a man inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. The reception made by Cooper Rudolph. First down, Carroll. 17 yards in that pickup. Becker unofficially with 220 yards passing tonight. That was Rudolph's 6th catch for 81 yards on first down. Becker throws, got a man inside the 30 and out of bounds to the 26-yard line to stop the clock. It's Rudolph. They'll spot him near the first down marker. Didn't quite get there. 2nd down at about a half yard.
4:31 to go here. This might have been Carroll's best starting field position all night, and they're taking advantage of some of this, loose coverage that Westfield's given them.
Becker's pass is caught. Rudolph again. First down, out of bounds at the 21.
We can really see the connection that these guys have. I mean, that goes back to Andy Papagiannis, their offensive play caller. Been doing that for 10 years. He's certainly well-versed in what these guys can do, having an arm like Jeff Becker back there and quick decision-making, really making the best of some of these, split-second situations and moving the ball like they have all night.
And Becker calls his own number after the fake to Starks. He's down to about the 11-yard line, close to another first down. Gets him 49 yards on 11 carries. And they'll stop the clock with 4:20 remaining, and it's the first down for the Chargers. Ball is at the 11. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Becker throws into the end zone, and touchdown! Give that man 6 points. Hanson Hafner with the reception for the Carroll touchdown. And you got to wonder if that's Becker's last touchdown pass as a Carroll Charger.
Let's take one more look at it. Why don't we? Traction AP replay. Knew exactly what the coverage was giving him. Found Hafner right away. Pretty good low throw there. I mean, had to get it away from that crashing safety. Maybe could have used a little bit more of the back shoulder there and not put Hafner quite in harm's way, but he did a good job going down and getting it, and now Becker will set up for the two-point conversion once again.
He rolls to his right and throws, and it is incomplete.
Look for Hafner again.
So we have a timeout. Westfield on top 37-14. We'll step aside. Back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
There are tons of benefits to using compression therapy, but my favorite are speeding up muscle recovery, reducing swelling and inflammation, and improving my athletic performance.
Welcome back, everybody. We have 4:09 left in this ball game. The Westfield Shamrocks leading the Carroll Chargers 37-14. Chargers, they may be going down, but they're going down with a fight. They're going out on their shield here. As Becker threw an 11-yard touchdown pass to Hafner. The two-point conversion attempt failed. Westfield anticipates an onside kick.
And then Maximus Webster is actually out there on the hands team.
Jester, onside kick. And it's covered up by Westfield at the 50-yard line. That's where the Shamrocks will take over. As we got 4:07 to go, and the Shamrocks will just try and keep the ball on the ground here and burn off the final 4 minutes, and then get ready for the long bus ride back to Hamilton County. But
yeah, it'll be a jovial bus ride. They'll be feeling good for sure heading into that rematch of the semi-state.
They'll get back home after midnight, but again, tomorrow's Saturday, and that's what Saturdays are for, sleeping in.
Oh, I bet these guys will be up studying film. I don't know, maybe not quite up as early as they normally are, but they'll be watching to see what still they can improve on. And yeah, now their offensive endeavors will not feature Maximus Webster. Instead is number 14 in white, Jarrell Averett. No, sorry.
Gilbert.
Jackson Gilbert. They got two 14s.
Yep. This is number 14, the quarterback.
There you go.
Jackway with the tackle.
And a loss in the play of a yard, as the two deep chart is pretty well out the window now with all these new players into the ball game. Second down and 11 for Westfield at their own 49-yard line. The clock is moving. That's what Westfield wants.
Number 24, Javion Averett, also back there with Gilbert, number 14.
Three receivers on this side. Jackson Gilbert, number 14, a sophomore, now quarterbacking the Shamrocks. 3:20 remaining. A lot of folks have left. And they'll run it to the near side. And Averett carries the ball for a couple of yards. And Carroll's going to call a timeout here with 3:13 to go. So why don't we step aside? We'll come back and I'll tell you what, let's mention, I'm sorry, Blake, let's mention some more of our fine sponsors.
I'm with you.
You're invited to join ProFed Credit Union, where we get to know you to better serve you. Sign up online in 5 minutes or stop by a branch. Join ProFed today and start owning your financial future at profedcu.org. At Ottenweller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit OttenwellerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball teams. Well, Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 5 through 18. Our players are equipped with elite level skills and a foundation of life skills. Jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. All right, 3:13 remaining in the contest. 3rd down and 9 for Westfield at the Carroll 49-yard line. The Shamrocks on top, 37-14, and they'll run it. And that's another new player in the ball game here for Westfield, so we got to go to the roster. And that is listed as Westerstrom. They got 2 number 3s. It's either Westerstrom or Brock Stewart who carry the ball. And it'll be 4th down and 6.
Another timeout from
timeout.
Carroll, it appears.
All right, gives us a chance to mention some more of our fine sponsors. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business, a system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. iCryo specializes in whole body cryotherapy, body sculpting, cryofacials, infrared sauna, and compression therapy services. Check out Jalen Smith's signature location on Coliseum Boulevard by Blaze Pizza. And are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you, whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping to get your driver's license reinstated? Jolly Law Firm is your answer. Caleb King is out punting now for Westfield with 3:08 to go. 1 timeout left for Carroll. Things were kind of exciting around here after Carroll scored and make it a 1-possession game. King fumbles the ball, gets the punt off in time, and it takes a Carroll bounce. It's going to roll dead at the 31-yard line, so that's where the Chargers take over with 2:57 to go. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Don't forget it, Parkview Sports Medicine, it's game on. We are the region's largest integrated sports medicine team, providing athletes specialized services from improving their performance to recovering from injuries. To learn more, go to parkviewsportsmedicine.com. First down for the Chargers at their own 32 with 2:57 to go. New personnel in the game on both sides, but the quarterback is still Becker, and he throws complete to Hafner. That'll be a gain of 16.
I mean, Jake Russ, number 54 for Carroll's, had his work cut out for him tonight facing Popeye Williams. Williams was in the backfield there, just disrupting things left and right, but a good job by Becker to stay in there and deliver.
He's got a receiver on the far side. He steps out of bounds to stop the clock. And that was Hafner again for a pickup of 5 yards to the Westfield 47.
Well, in terms of what Carroll's going to return next year, they obviously lose their quarterback in Becker. They lose some of their senior skill guys, but they got 3 current juniors on that offensive line. Dylan Bennett, the heartbeat of their defense, coming back as well. So we'll see some more of these guys in blue next year too.
On 2nd and 5, Becker throws too high for his antenna receiver.
That's not to mention Harrison Hafner, who we've seen running around a whole lot tonight. Gabe Starks, who's got a ton of or Nate Starks, I believe, is number 21, who's been really running around. He's a freshman. Not quite all doom and gloom for the future of Carroll here, even though you're losing some of your top name guys right now.
Becker has thrown the ball 36 times tonight. This will be number 37. And it's incomplete. That brings up 4th down with 2:30 left in the contest. 37-14, Westfield in command.
Becker challenging Mario Chalmers there, not the former Kansas star, former NBA champion with the Miami Heat, but number 20 in white tonight. He was in pass coverage there. Just got a little bit away from Becker on that one. And, yeah, 4th and 5 for, what could very well be the last play of a very storied career here if you're Jeff Becker.
And he's looking to throw, and he's going to be under a rush, and he throws it incomplete on the far side. Had a guy hanging on his arm as he threw it. So Westfield takes over on downs. First down for the Shamrocks at their own 47 with 2:24 to go.
Yeah, you'll find very few high school quarterbacks cooler in the face of pressure.
It's been fun watching him.
No doubt. I mean, this is my first season in the Summit City area watching high school football, and did a lot of reporting on Carroll in the preseason. We're talking in July, and August, get to come out here and see some of these guys, and they were just so excited for this season. The potential that, they showed all season was exactly what they had anticipated for themselves, and the SAC was something they really wanted. They wanted a part of that bell. They got it. They overcame those struggles in week 1, stopped with the turnovers, and Jeff Becker was a huge part of that. I mean, Jamison Coverstone we didn't get to see tonight, but their go-to guy, was leading the area, if not the state. He's up there in receiving yards for most of this season. It's a shame that he and Carmody didn't really get to join that crop of skill guys that's just been excellent all season long for this Doug Dinan Carroll team. And the defense, too. You didn't see a whole lot of pressure tonight from those front 3 guys, but they changed their defense philosophy this season. They went with a 3-man front now instead of some of their 4-man fronts of the past. They had the personnel to do it. They had the full confidence of Doug Dinan. And I've mentioned it a few times, coming off of back-to-back shutouts in the postseason, not something you see a whole lot. They got a lot to be proud of, this Carroll team does.
On 2nd and 7, Westfield runs the ball, looking to eat up the clock. They're close to a first down again. And we're down to 1:28 to go. Westfield will move on to the semi-states. Wenger lost earlier tonight, so the Summit Athletic Conference will be done as far as the football tournament is concerned in about another 1 and 10 seconds officially. 3rd down and 1 at the 44 for Westfield. Maybe a couple more snaps before we call it a night. Quite a snow squall moved through here about an hour before game time. Not snowing now. And they'll get the first down out to the 40-yard line. They'll stop the clock to move the sticks. They'll have to snap it one more time, perhaps. Yep. One more snap and we'll be done. And this is how you want to end the football game, with your offense on the field. If you're Westfield. Well, 2 first-half turnovers that led to Westfield scores proved to be too much to overcome for Carroll. They got it down to a 1-possession game, but the Shamrocks responded. And here's the last snap of the night. Victory formation. There's the knee, and we'll play no more football here tonight. And the Carroll Chargers season, a fine season at that, comes to an end as they bow out with a record of 10-2. Westfield moves on. They're now 11-1. Your final score in this Class 6A regional title game tonight in Huntertown. The Westfield Shamrocks 37 and the Carroll Chargers 14. Blake and I will be back to wrap things up following this timeout.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Dealing with joint pains, sprains, strains, or back pain? Make the Parkview Ortho Express walk-in clinic your first stop when you have an orthopedic or sports injury. Located at the Sport One Parkview Fieldhouse, Ortho Express has specialized orthopedic physicians on staff when you need it most. Get x-rays, treatment, and referrals to Parkview Care, all in the convenience of a walk-in clinic. Ortho Express is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Friday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 260-266-4007 for more.
All right, back here at the Gorsuch Athletic Complex, Jim Measle, Blake Baker, our cameraman Aiden Orth, back with you one last time. The Westfield Shamrocks advance to the Class 6A semi-states tonight with a 37-14 win over the Carroll Chargers. Westfield moves on with a record of 11-1. Carroll wraps up their season with a record of 10-2. Some final unofficial stats for Westfield: 235 yards rushing, 221 in the air, 456 yards of total offense for the Shamrocks. Carroll, 115 on the ground, 266 in the air, 381 total. The first downs we had Carroll with 16 for Westfield. Penalties, 9 against Westfield for 83 yards, and 7 against Carroll for 67 yards. But the big statistic, turnovers. Carroll, outstanding in that category, entering this ball game, plus 11, but they were minus 3 in this game. 2 of those turnovers leading to Westfield points in the first half. 2 interceptions and a fumble. Westfield was clean in that category. And Blake, that was a big difference in the ball game tonight in Westfield's 37-14 win over Carroll.
No doubt. We've seen Carroll give the ball away sometimes, maybe at the beginning of games, especially on those first possessions sometimes, but they haven't faced a team that was able to capitalize on every single mistake that they've made until tonight. And that's exactly what Westfield did. They took everything that Carroll gave them, both in the turnover game and, in their play calling. I mean, Maximus Webster, I think, did a really good job of getting that coverage in front of him and letting that kind of dictate things and delivering some nice balls and just, kind of sticking to exactly what we expected from him. Ryden, Hauser, and Webster making the big play when needed, not making any mistakes, and that's why they ended up with a 23-point win and a regional title by the night's end.
All right, we got to pick ourselves a player of the game. And
I think we're thinking the same guy.
Yeah, Mr. Hauser.
That's right.
That guy is a dude, man, on both sides of the ball.
That's right. Yeah, playing all over the field. They certainly needed him tonight. They certainly used him exactly how they needed to. He got a lot of help from his boys up front. Again, some of the skill guys around him doing a good job. I like D. Pasquale running out and lead blocking along with some of those linemen too. And Hauser's the one that's really making it happen, though. He's the engine of this offense. Maximus Webster, the one kind of making it happen, and maybe more of the sexy plays, but Hauser, the down-to-down guy that got it done tonight for Westfield.
So there's your Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game, Micah Hauser, for the Westfield Shamrocks. So that's pretty much the story. We want to thank everybody here at Carroll for their hospitality and letting us live stream tonight's game, and we'll, of course, archive it anytime you want to watch it. I'm sure you folks who were watching in Hamilton County tonight would like to see this game again in the future. That's the story tonight here at Carroll High School in this Class 6A regional title game. Again, your final score, the Westfield Shamrocks 37, the Carroll Chargers 14. On behalf of our cameraman Aiden Orth and my broadcast partner Blake Baker, I'm Jim Measle saying have a good night, everybody.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260s dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I like to stay active.